Aha, welcome to the Tuesday show. My name is Ultra David.
And I'm James Chen, and we have a slight echo, but not anymore. There we go.
Hopefully everything's working.
It's been dodgy of late. However, the frame rate seems to be working great today, so...
hopefully so. All right.
Let's hope it maintains.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's actually wood.
Yes.
Well, we're going to talk about, as you can see, several topics. The Red Bull Proving Grounds. We're going to talk about how we basically really like team tournaments, but, you know, let's see how that goes.
Yeah. We haven't discussed our opinions about them beforehand, so...
Actually, that's true. We have not.
Yeah.
We're going to maybe prattle on about, like, tiers and injustice. Not super in-depth,
but I mean, I could also gives me an opportunity to just talk about my sad injustice experiences so far. You know?
I'm sure you've done it justice.
Yeah.
Let's go talk about Eagle after that. We're going to have FGC news, as we always do, at the end. And that's the show.
Everyone seems to be surprised that you're clean-shaven today.
I got tired of it.
Really?
It's basically how it goes. Like, I have a beard until I don't want one anymore. I was in the car, and I was like, you know, I don't really feel like having a beard now.
But that's going to last like 2 days, right?
Well, it's going to take longer than that for an actual beard to come back, but, you know, certainly by next week's show, if I want,
you'll be back to normal.
But, I'm not sure I'll want that. I might take a little bit of a break from that.
Okay.
It's really just a question of how much effort I want to put in.
Yeah.
If no effort, then beard.
Right.
So.
Okay.
All right, well, let's talk about the Red Bull Proving Grounds.
Yes.
This past weekend, there was a really cool event called the Red Bull Proving Grounds. Second year in a row that they've done it.
Let me see if I can find... I actually haven't pulled up the results yet.
Eagle, just for explanation, is a new character in Killer Instinct. They demoed him earlier today, and he looks really cool.
Here we go. Red Bull Proving Grounds. Let's pull up the Smash.gg brackets here. Boom.
So, I didn't get to watch it very much. I was gone almost the entire weekend.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I watched
the grand finals, and that was basically it.
Okay. I actually got to watch, like, almost all... Well, I had it on in the background.
Yeah.
And seriously, on Sunday, like, I even got an achievement on my Xbox One. It was like, you watched the stream for over 8 hours.
Oh, my God.
Like, I didn't even know that was a thing. But it gives you an indication of just how crazy it was. I had it on. I was working on my laptop at the exact same time, doing a bunch of clerical stuff and just other random things. And literally when I got up to feed my cats, I almost passed out. Like, I felt all this blood rush to my head.
That's bad news, buddy.
I started feeding my cats, and I was like, holy crap. And I literally almost fell to the floor. Like, I had to catch myself, and it was...
I'm glad you are okay.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell happened, but I've got to take care of myself, so...
Agreed.
Man. Anyways, trying to find these Red Bull Proving Grounds online results here.
Like, right there at the top, you mean?
This one here?
Yeah.
Well, I think this is this posted June 20? Okay, that's 2 days ago. Oh, yeah, there we go. Sweet. Okay, cool.
Anyway, so, just give the people a little bit of a background on this thing.
Yeah, so they've been going for... So last year they did Red Bull Proving Grounds. It was only like 8 cities, but one of them only had one representative or something like that. But they threw 3 people out from a bunch of... Actually, I'm sorry, it was 5 cities and one from Canada, which made 16 players total.
Yeah, Van from Toronto.
Right, and so they put them into a bracket and they played against each other, and the winner basically got to... He won the event, right? And got a free trip to Battlegrounds. This year, what they decided to do for the first half of the year was very different. They did the same thing, but they added way more cities to it. So, like, instead of one Canada city, there's 3 Canada cities. They added Orlando. They added a Texas city. And so, basically, we had a bunch of cities here, and they all played for each other. And then the top 3 players from each one not only just got to fly out to... the Red Bull Proving Grounds mid-season finale, which was just this past weekend, they did so as a team, and it became a team tournament.
Right.
So all the different cities played each other in a round robin, and not only did there was an East Coast conference and a West Coast conference, right? Oh, I totally did that right, mirror image too on the TV. So the winners of each of those round robins would play each other, and the person who won that would get $6,000 and an all-expense paid trip to Evolution.
It's awesome.
Not just for those 3 players,
Right.
but for the entire top 8 of that region.
Right.
So the 3 players went out to represent them, but all 8 players get a free trip to Evo.
They all had skin in the game.
That was sick.
The whole community.
Yeah, I think that was really cool.
Yeah. Oh, we talked, have been talking really since Red Bull started doing things in the FGC about how community-driven they are. They are not about this from a top-down level, right? Their goal, I mean, I've talked to them about it, and they're very explicit about it, is community up. It's ground up. It's not like top-down. All right, like we're going to have like the one fancy tournament, and we're going to like get all the money, and we're going to have the biggest sponsors, and it's going to be the best production and all that stuff. That's cool, fine. But it's very different than what they're trying to do. They're instead trying to make it so that communities around North America get more exposure, more of them travel, get more sort of awareness of those players and of their local scenes. And the goal is not just to like lift up those players, like the people who won, right? Like it's not that's not the goal. It's to make it so that the scene is stronger, the local scene is stronger, more to get more players and for them to have more money. Again, not just because it's nice to have like the top guy paid out, but because you want to get better facilities, better streams. The whole plan is very much build up the grassroots. Later on, I don't know. I imagine their long-term game plan is like later on. Hopefully, that will mean that we're going to have more players, more people watching, more fans. Maybe they'll be able to get capitalized in some way. I don't know, but certainly in the meantime, their plan is definitely build it up.
Right, and
I love it, and I thought that the way that they did it was so good because, like you said, it's not just that the 3 people who do well, that they're the only people who get anything out of it, right? It's also that their scene does, and that makes it so that the scene wants to do better. It sort of rewards the rest of the scene for having done well. It makes other scenes look at that and say, "Wow, we got to step it up."
Right.
It's just,
I mean, we'll definitely talk about that once we get to the team versus one-on-one, because
Indeed.
that's where a lot of that discussion is going to be in there. So.
For sure.
But again, so basically the teams played each other. Let's go through the let's talk about how this went down. So there was a bunch of teams that went out there. We had Orlando, Atlanta, Philadelphia, which was essentially New York, except for Darkchild.
Yeah, he's from Maryland.
Yeah. He's from Maryland. Huh? Okay,
There's nobody from Philly in there.
That's very unfortunate. Chicago, Houston, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver. So it's a really good representation from all around the country. I feel like probably the only thing that's missing is like right smack dab in the middle of the states, but eventually I'm sure it'll get to that point. But the teams played the round robins, as we mentioned. There was the East Coast Conference and the West Coast Conference. And the West Coast Conference, and this one was tough. I know there was a lot of debate on this one because 3 teams finished with a 4-1 record. And that was Team Los Angeles, Team Seattle, and Team Chicago. So Chicago was made up of Brian F., Wave the Cool Kid, and Eric C. with Balrog, Rashid, and Fang. Second place was Team Seattle, which was Jabril, Dr. Danny Pham, and JLMN with Vega, Zangief, and Bison. And of course, LA was Alex Myers, Commander Jesse, and SD Pinoy, Cammy Dalsum, Nakali, and Bison, of course, SD Pinoy.
He signed up as Pinoy.
That's right. He just signed up as regular
He was
Pinoy.
Not SD San Diego Pinoy.
He was LA
Pinoy
for that day.
Also, we're going to just assume, yeah, it's fine. Alex Myers lives in LA. Cool. It's all good.
He only just moved. This was his final duty as a SoCal representation.
Good work out there, Commander Jesse. Representing LA for LA. I like it.
But the thing is, they all had a 4-1 record. And like when you went by different tiebreaker criteria, different teams made it and won. And so like through one, which was the direct head-to-head records, I think Seattle was the one that was supposed to go through, and if you went with like different records, then like Chicago was supposed to go through. In the end, they chose to go with overall win percentage, not head-to-head, just overall. And LA had the better win percentage in the end, so they were the ones that qualified through. So, but to be fair, Wave the Cool Kid, man, talk about MVP for the West Coast side. It was him, and on the East Coast side, they talked about Flux Waves as well from the Montreal team.
Yeah.
I forgot who it was said that those two players alone had more wins than some teams.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, just like by themselves, they had a better record than some teams because they just like put in the work.
Nice work then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then on the East Coast, third place was Team Atlanta, which is awesome because if you remember last year's Red Bull Proving Grounds, they basically all went 0-2.
They all got dunked.
All three of their players who showed up went 0-2. So this year they got third place in the East Coast side, and that of course is Ice Effect, who returned from last year with Laura, Terrence, who returned from last year with Chun-Li, and King Birdie with Birdie. Their third player, which was Squall, has moved to Florida, so he is now representing Florida. So.
Yeah, well, I had heard about King Birdie only the last few months. I mean, just hearing about him via the Red Bull stuff, I had never heard of him before. But I think it's great because he's one of these guys who like. I saw one of the Red Bull spiels about him. They like did a spiel about that scene.
Yeah.
And he said that he was like a closet Street Fighter fan for
a
long time.
Yeah.
He was like embarrassed to actually do things about it, but he is clearly talented and has picked it up really fast. So I thought that's really cool.
And, that's actually really cool because, even us talking about, like, we didn't know who they were. Did you see Kami's interview? Mm-mm. He literally said he had never heard of Esti Pinoy until that event.
What? That's weird.
And this is how it happens, right? Yeah. Like, when you're in the scene, you're like, how could you not have heard of him? But if you're not in the scene, right, it's kind of hard to say. So, it's great to have these guys to get the exposure, like even for somebody like Pinoy, who's like massive. He just won a trip to Taiwan, right? He won that Zowie tournament to go to Taiwan. But yeah, it's great to get a lot of the exposure for these guys. Second place was Team Montreal with Flux Waves, as we mentioned, with Armika. He was the notes guy.
You mean second place in the East?
In the East Coast, yeah. He had the notes. He was the guy who basically every time before a match they had a sheet of paper and they were looking at it, and all the commentators there like said they looked at it and it was like talking about different habits of the players and like
that's good.
So it's really cool.
He brought like physical notes.
Yeah,
like on his phone.
No, it wasn't on his phone. It was a sheet of paper.
Wow.
And they were all looking at him the whole entire time.
That's awesome. I haven't seen anybody bring physical notes forever.
It was super cool.
I used to have a document that was 25 pages long that I printed out and I would take to the arcades back in like 09 and 10.
Oh, man.
It's been a while since I've seen that.
Snafu was also there with Dalston.
Ah, very good work.
And of course, Chairithi with now Karen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whoever's
the best character at the time.
Yeah.
Started with Chun-Li in season 1 and season 2, went to Cammy for a little bit, then said, you know what? Karen.
He's not shy about it either.
Yeah,
like, it's not like he happens to end up and he's like, no, I just happened to play Karen. No, he's like, yeah, she's the best, so.
Oh, man. Of course, and then we mentioned first place on the East Coast that got to represent was Team Philadelphia with Kami and Nakali,
right.
Darkchild and Balrog, and JB with Rashid. Darkchild had some epic trash talking, but even at one point in time, he admitted it was all kind of for show and for fun and stuff like that. So, because when they were beating, I think it was like the Montreal. It was one of the teams. Every time they beat him, he was just like, no, like next guy, But it was really cool. But then they went up against each other in the grand finals, East versus West. And Team Philadelphia prevailed largely through the amazing play of JB, who also just this morning won King of the Hill as well, because, he's really good. And we chose not to talk about the Red Bull Proving Grounds success during today's episode.
We thought it would be too much.
Yeah, we just didn't think it would be so right to mention it so immediately after it happened.
Let it marinate a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. But JB was awesome, and to be frank, I mean, I even tweeted this before it started, the grand final started. I was like, I've got to root for SoCal, but somehow I think this win is a little more valuable to the Philly team.
Oh, yeah. Like financially valuable.
Yeah, because like SoCal wins for their 1 hour flight to Las Vegas. Right. It's like, come on.
Right.
Oh, man. But yeah, so shout outs to Team Philadelphia. Darkchild played amazing as well. Really happy for him. Kami played really well as well. And he's another one of those players that's from NLBC that I don't feel like gets the same kind of, showcasing that a lot of the other players. I mean, he's like at every tournament. I see him traveling all the time. He's part of Team Pi. He's with Smug at every single tournament.
He's a younger guy. I mean, he hasn't been playing for terribly long. And, I mean, he's already super talented. Already super good.
Exactly. So, good job to Philadelphia. So they were able to take it. They're the ones that are going to make it out. But honestly, I mean, you saw the grand finals, right?
I did see the grand finals.
JB
yes.
versus SD. Oh, I'm sorry. JB versus Pinoy.
Yeah.
Every time they played each other was probably some of the best sets that I'd ever seen.
Yeah. Those guys are playing. In fact, basically that team was Jesse, Pinoy, Myers, and I guess JB. I mean, in the grand finals, Darkchild and Kami didn't play that well. Although I heard that they did great otherwise. But
yeah. He OCV'd like one team. So.
There you go. Anyway, but those guys were playing like Street Fighter V. Like it's not they were not playing like some other game. It was Street Fighter V.
Yeah.
It was movement and mix-ups and fast play and very dangerous stuff. And like they, wake up buttons at like or wake up roll or back roll. Like they had like all of the important mix-ups in there. But I feel like it was so fun to watch. I already think Dictator is fun to watch. He's just a fun character. I've been saying that since week 1.
Yeah, I love watching Bison in this game.
No, I've always been like that. Rashid obviously is very much a fun and fast character as well. I feel the same way about Dawson. Cammy is Cammy, but she moves around and stuff. I just think that was like a really good showing for how interesting Street Fighter V can be. It's a lot of it, some of it is, but a lot of it is not like the traditional grounded whiff punishing footsie game that you saw in like Street Fighter 4 or Street Fighter 3 even. But I really feel like it has its own interesting merits. Like, I love the movement in the game. I think it's really interesting. I think that the defensive choices have to be unorthodox compared to other games and really interesting. I loved it.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I just think that Bison, like you said, fun character to watch. Definitely. I think Rashid is, he's obviously top. I mean, God, there's so many characters I would put in top 5.
I would say he's top tier.
Yeah, he's top 10 for sure, right? He's top tier for sure. But I feel like those two characters really kind of make the game fun to watch. I think that 'cause it's interesting to me that there was only a Balrog, but there was like none of the Urians or Lauras, And and Darkchild he just couldn't beat Pinoy. Like he could not beat Pinoy. So, but. Like I said, Bison, God, every time I watch SD Pinoy's Bison, it just makes me happy. Like, I get, like, this weird happy feeling inside.
He's so fun, man.
Because it's so disrespectful.
He's such a jerk.
So great.
Yeah. But he has so many good tools for the context of Street Fighter V. Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
So, because Team Philadelphia won it, that means that the people going to EVO are everybody else who was top 8 in their local scene, which is JB, Darkchild, and Kami, of course, but also Ludovic, Shin Lad, Therapist, Asar, and King Buffalo.
Nice.
That's really cool for Shin Lad and Ludovic, guys who I sort of see around. I knew Therapist a million years ago.
Really? Oh, back from like the Maryland days or something?
Back when I lived in D.C.
Okay. Where's he from?
Central Pennsylvania. I don't know if he still lives there.
Okay.
But if anybody knows, let me know. I'd be very interested. But he and his one other buddy, whose name I now don't remember, would come to our locals in Northern Virginia, and for Third Strike. This is 10 years ago, and they were good. But like they were definitely by themselves. Like there was nobody else in their scene.
Right. Okay.
I don't know what else was going on there, or if the scene has been built up, or if he's moved, or whatever happened. But I just think it's very cool to see his name in there because I haven't seen it in a long, long time.
Right. Well, that's cool.
I think that's awesome.
Glad to see these guys coming back in there. And again, these are players, like I said, it's that whole thing again where you're like, I knew these players because I used to live in that area.
Yeah.
Nobody else has really heard of him, but it's actually really cool to give these guys a chance. Now, he's going to get to EVO. You know, one of them could make a surprise run through the bracket. You never know, right? Especially if they're good and unknown. Right? Because that way people aren't going to be ready for them, and they might end up losing to these players. So.
Yeah, man. I think that's super awesome. So everybody in the Philadelphia scene there, I don't know how many of these guys are actually from Philadelphia.
Yeah, I know, right?
I know Lud's not. Therapist wasn't.
I'm pretty sure Shinlad is not, right?
Yeah. JB, Darkchild, and Kami definitely all are not. But hey, all right, good job, people who live close enough to Philadelphia to drive there regularly.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, right? I mean, it's to represent the different sections.
Yeah, no, totally.
It's the sections.
I mean,
right?
again, so the LA team was definitely a San Diego player and a guy who's from SoCal, but now mostly lives in Northern California.
Now actually just lives in NorCal.
Now just
lives in NorCal.
So we can't say too much about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was awesome.
But yeah, it was good stuff. And again, I just feel like they're doing a really good job promoting a lot of the different local. I know last year I mentioned Red Bull Proving Grounds as one of my 3 favorite events.
Right.
Mostly for this same reason and just for a lot of the cool things that they've been doing. I don't know. Is there anything else you want to say about the event itself?
Good job to Cool Kid's now wife. Last year, I don't think they were married yet.
No, they were not.
They were not yet.
They were fiance. Yeah, it was just engaged, I should say.
Engaged. Now they are married, and she is still in there as much as ever. Very cool.
It's pretty. Did you see some of the photos too? Like there are some great photos out there. Yeah, it's amazing. So
he's a very quiet dude. He doesn't yell much. I mean, I haven't hung around him a ton, but he doesn't yell much, and he's
seems very genteel.
Yeah, soft spoken, and he's a little jokester, but he's not out there with it. And then she is
definitely
maximum out there. So I think that's a really cool little mix they got going on.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it usually works, right? Opposites attract.
There you go. That's what they say.
Exactly. That's what Paula Abdul said in the 80s. No, I'm just kidding.
That's right. She was into cats, so that's weird. I've seen that video. I'm not old.
I'm surprised. There was just a tweet earlier today. It was like, when you make references in the mic and no one gets it, you realize how old you are.
Well, I get it.
Okay. Okay. Well, one of the reasons that a lot of people did say that they really enjoyed this event, though, was the fact that it was a team tournament. And instead of being an individual tournament, and I saw a lot of people talking about they should do more team tournaments. And it's interesting because this is kind of very similar to the discussion that we had earlier in the year when Filipino Champ was we should have more exhibitions instead of singular tournaments. And so should we do that? And so now it's kind of the same thing. A lot of people seem like they want different formats that are not just single tournaments, one-on-one kind of events. And look, I'll just start off by saying that I think team tournaments are awesome, and I've been championing them for a while. Every time I talk to the Texas scene, I've said this a million times, that they should create team tournaments between the cities to help bring up the Texas scene, or even do stuff have Texas start a rivalry with the Midwest for no reason, for no justifiable reason, but only just to kind of gain that kind of team based play, because I think the camaraderie is really, really important. However, I do think that it's a secondary format. I do think it should be less important than the 1v1. I still think the 1v1 is the most important thing because Street Fighter is still about 1v1. Now, there's a lot of benefits to the team tournament, but I will save that. And, what's your thought on the whole entire thing?
Team tournaments happen basically every major.
Okay.
It's not some new thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's almost every Friday night of a major. Some don't do it, but most do. So I don't know. It's not it's rare to see a team tournament, right? I enjoy watching them, but it's not rare. What was more compelling to me about this format was that, I guess probably should have mentioned this while we were talking about the event itself, but I really liked how they had the players sitting there. Sort of next to each other, they could talk to each other. There was definitely the strategery element going on, right? Like it was strategery. Yeah, that's right. That was clearly a very big part of it, and I like that. Like that's more what I care about, or I like the fact that they're all competing to win the same prize. Like it's important that they win so they can go to Evo, right? Or it's important that they win so that the other people who got top 8 in their locals, they go to Evo. Like that's what I liked about this team tournament format. I feel like it really brought out the sort of team aspect of it.
Right.
Typically, when you see a team tournament, it's just like one guy goes, the next guy goes, and it's like, That's how I feel about almost all team tournaments, even great ones like Cooperation Cup for Third Strike, right? That's a long running Third Strike 5v5 tournament. It still gets big numbers in Japan for entrants, but it's definitely like one guy goes and the next guy goes.
Right.
It's like not. I don't really feel like that's playing up the team aspect of it so much. So
yeah.
I really like playing up the team aspect of it because I feel like that can then differentiate it between enough from singles and team tournament rather than a team tournament just feeling like it's a succession of singles.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, a lot of people have talked about team tournaments as like a basketball or a hockey or baseball kind of thing where it's like, oh, wouldn't it be interesting if we had like players traded from teams? And see, I'm not interested in that. Like, what I really want, honestly, is the reason why it's kind of going along with what you said. The most important thing to me about this team tournament was that it was a regional thing.
Yeah.
That it was the people that you play with and against all the time.
For sure.
And now what it does is it builds a camaraderie with those people. Because to be honest with you, some of those people, like the fact that Kami and my head is blank, JB, went out to Philadelphia, they were probably seen as rivals, as enemies.
Oh, so.
And so there's probably like some animosity or like, but then as soon as now all of a sudden they're representing your area, you'll try to help them, et cetera, et cetera. There is this level of camaraderie that you obtain from there. So, like, for example, like all the Orlando guys in there with like CJ Truth and everybody, like, so maybe they're rivals in there within their own scene because they're clearly some of the best players there, right? And so now all of a sudden it's like, hey, CJ Truth and Cruzy, who are both Cammy players, now all of a sudden have to give each other their Cammy strategies,
right?
As opposed to withholding them back from each other, So, sure. Like, I feel like there is a valuable aspect of that team tournament, and that's why I've suggested it to the Dallas scene and to the San Antonio and Austin, like, so that way they can all team up and learn to fight against the enemies.
The team tournaments that I have really liked in the past are the ones that I can recall are the Canada Cup ones that were like Team USA versus Team Japan or Team Korea versus whatever else. Because there is that regional aspect to it, right? I think that's exactly spot on.
Yeah,
those are the things that matter. If it was, you could trade players around. I don't care about that stuff. I'm like kind of out of it, even in sports now. I don't really care about that in sports. I still care about like the California football team or old Golden Bears, but that's only because I went to Cal Berkeley.
Right.
Like if I didn't, then I wouldn't care. It's just a regional thing. Like the Ducks, like they got players from everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
I don't even know where they're. I don't even follow it enough now to like honestly know where they're from. And that's different than everybody being from the same area. I really feel like it's more interesting to watch. So.
I mean because honestly, there's something about regional pride that really sticks with people. Like, it's the one thing that I feel like really kind of sticks with a lot of people so that they really want to represent specific areas, right? That's why you have guys like Combo Fiend and Snake Eyes and all those guys who are all heading up to Northern California, and they're like, no, I will be Southern California forever. They refuse to. Chris G comes out to West Coast, and he's like, he's going to be NY Chris G forever, right? So there are just those. There's something about having that regional pride. So when you actually play in these team tournaments, it's weird. It's like that extra thing at stake. Because like you said, you can root for anyone on the Ducks as long as they're on the Ducks, right? Look, this is the typical Asian thing, right? Oh, Michael Chang. Got to root for him for tennis. Who knows how he plays? Got to root for him. Watch the Olympics. Got to root for everyone who's from China. who cares who the hell they are, but you gotta root for them. There's just something about this regional pride thing that I feel like really sticks with people.
I'm with you.
So I do like, yeah, see, Justin Wong is kind of one of the rare cases because he came out to SoCal and he's kind of like...
He was disaffected with New York. I mean, he wasn't... like, Chris G came out here and he's, like, definitely in love with New York stuff, but Justin was not.
Yeah, and not only that, but he's also not... He wasn't even... He never even really took up the NorCal moniker either. He kind of stayed SoCal because SoCal treated him well for sure. So.
That's right.
But yeah, that's the thing. That's what makes the team tournament exciting to me. That's what made it exciting. And a lot of people in the chat were saying that like it did feel like that trip to Evo was really like high stakes. Like,
for sure.
And not only that, but if you lose, and this is kind of tricky too. This is the one good thing about team tournaments, I will say, is that if you lose, you're not necessarily only disappointing yourself, so you can be one of those guys that's just like, well, whatever, I suck.
Yeah.
You're
right.
You had 5 other people in your home city coming like, come on.
Right,
come
yeah,
on.
They wanted to go to Evo too. Definitely, man.
So, there's definitely this level of, you can't let anybody down. And, we have team tournaments on Friday nights all the time, and they don't have that same kind of stakes to it.
They do not.
They do not. So, you know. But, like, if you set up... every time I talk about that Texas thing, like, you take the 4 big cities there, you have the setup between the team tournament. What if all the entry fees were not going to prize money, but they were all to pay for tickets to Evo?
I hear you.
You know... And
people have definitely done that in the past.
Yeah. And then you could just imagine how hard they would all want to play. To be the Texas city that gets to go try to represent Evo. I think that would be sick. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I strongly feel that 1 versus 1 is the most important.
Yeah.
And I want that to always be the case, because it's obviously a 1 versus 1 kind of genre.
Yeah, I mean, does it make you feel like it downplays like SBO, which used to be a team tournament, downplays Cooperation Cup a little bit?
It downplays them?
Do you think it does? Like, do you think it makes it so that they don't feel as important to you as Evo, for example?
Oh, for sure they're not as important as Evo.
Okay.
I've never thought they were more important. Even when SBO was as big as it ever was, I never thought it was bigger than Evo. Right. I always thought that format was garbage.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, the one nice thing about team tournaments, though, is that, if you aren't a very good player and you have 2 teammates who are very good, they might be able to bring you into higher levels of play and give you more tournament experience and stuff like that.
No, you're totally right about how people once they have some commonality among them, like they start sharing things.
Right.
But at the same time, if there's some rivalry, then they need to learn things, and then you got to have interplay between those things back and forth. Yeah. I don't really like 1 game single elimination. What a bunch of nonsense that was. I'm so glad that tournament's dead.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
I had somebody they were basically, I did a whole rant on whether or not Third Strike was balanced or not, and they were like, but dude, look at Japan results. Any character could win on that. And I was like, in a single elimination, can't change character, 1 out of 1 tournament, anybody could win anything.
Anything.
Cien would have won 19 tournaments with Fong.
Yeah, oh, sure. Why not? Why not?
In season 1, if that were the case.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, man.
It was such crap. But anyway, team tournaments I think can be cool. I just think that they're not as important as the 1v1, but I do think that they can be cool as long as they're playing up the team as a team. That it matters that they are a team rather than just a collection of individual players.
Yeah, I mean, the worst part about it, too, is whenever you do have those Friday tournaments at events, they're the Friday tournament. They're not going to be played on Sunday big screen. It's like nobody cares. The only time I felt like a team tournament really actually kind of mattered was at Canada Cup because it was such a played up thing, and it was always felt like kind of the main event, and they would play the finals on Sunday and everything like that. But outside of that, that's
really about it.
Yeah, nobody really cares. And
people tend to pick just their secondaries and screw around.
And as you mentioned, the Canada Cup was the only that one was region based, so it was important, right?
Yeah,
so.
I remember when Daco beat all of Team Canada with DJ. Who doesn't remember that? I remember that.
Oh man, poor Canada.
Very funny.
Poor Canada. Okay, before we go on break, however, I do want to mention, and just for full disclosure, obviously we have talked about, especially I have talked about how much we love Okamoto Kitchen in the past.
Ah, yes.
Right? So, full disclosure, Gerald has said, hey, here's a bunch of free food. Would you like to talk about like some of the stuff that's going on?
Did you get free food?
We haven't yet, but he said he can't do it today, but next week he may deliver us while we're doing the show. He might deliver, and that would be a great 4th of July, to be honest with you, getting some, I don't know if you could do it on
4th of July?
Yeah, it is 4th of July.
Definitely not going to be here.
Oh, dang, okay. But, basically, they're going to be at Anime Expo this weekend. So they're going to have their food truck out in Anime Expo. So if you guys are planning to visit Anime Expo, please, head to them. I will definitely be going there, even though I do not have an Anime Expo pass, unless somebody wants to hook me.
Oh, boy.
But I will
shills
definitely be going
shills.
there. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to be doing a lot of shills right now. But also, the other cool thing, though, that I want to mention here, I had this up. I think I accidentally closed the window. One of the cool things that they're doing, though, is they're actually doing an official tie-in event with Atlas for Persona 5.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
Yeah, so they're actually, let me see the deals here. So they've actually teamed up with Atlas at Anime Expo. And so there's going to be like special Persona 5 menu items that they're going to sell with people. And the coolest thing, too, is they have also officially announced that a second truck has opened up.
Called Umetaro?
Yeah.
Do they name their trucks?
They do name their trucks. The first one, I believe, was Ume-chan, and this one is Umetaro. So, there you go.
Well, they make good food.
Yes, they make amazing food. And, look, he didn't have to offer us anything to say nice things, because that's what we've done the whole entire time.
I've known him forever.
Yeah, the only reason why I'm going so big on this whole full disclosure thing is because the whole stupid joke about shills is, like, all over the place right now. So, it's like...
I think you were right to do so. Legally speaking, I think you were right to do so.
Absolutely. But, they're going to have unique Persona 5 inspired menu items, including LeBlanc curry, I guess Shujin yakisoba pan, and a P5 themed drink. I haven't played Persona 5 yet.
I assume those are characters.
Yeah, but yeah, so the menu is going to be specifically made for Anime Expo. So if you guys are traveling to the event, definitely look out for the Okamoto Kitchen truck.
Yeah, they do good work. They were at SCR. Oh, they've been on a lot of things. But yeah, they make good food. Yep. No doubt.
Okay, and all right. So anything else that you wanted to add before we head on break with full Okamoto slides here? So
I'm gonna start eating my dinner, which is individual apple slices and peanut butter and honey. I was very lazy today.
It still looks amazing, though.
I don't think it's even good for me. Anyway, let's go to break.
All right. Be right back, guys.
All right, well, kind of forgot to put this up there at the start.
We changed topics.
Our bad. Yeah.
So
let's talk about this functions thing. Yeah, all right, what happened?
Let's talk about functions. So, there was a GameSpot interview where they interviewed Combo Fiend and another Capcom representative. Was it Mike? I think it was Mike or Mark.
I don't remember.
Okay. And one of the questions invariably asked was, "Where's the X-Men?"
Right.
And Combo Fiend was like, well, sometimes you can't, you got to look at characters as functions, right? So Magneto was like 8-way air dash. Well, we have Nova in here for you, and he's got 8-way air dash, so he covers that function. So you guys shouldn't have to worry. And the internet exploded. Holy crap, it exploded, and now everyone's mad about it. Functions is the latest FGC meme. Everyone's tweeting about functions all over the place, and everybody is really mad, and everybody is particularly mad at Combo Fiend because he also said something like, well, people might not remember the X-Men anymore, and
He did. It's not the best couple PR choices, but they're not in a great situation. I assume that it's not Capcom's choice that those characters aren't launching in the game.
Right.
You gotta assume that, right? I'm sure if they had their druthers, then there would just be Magneto. There'd be one, right? Like always. So I don't know what the deal is there, but I just, they have to, come up with reasons for why not.
Right.
Without, I mean, I assume, without saying something like, Marvel won't let us do it. Sorry, everybody. If you want to yell at somebody, go yell at Marvel. They're the ones who suck. Screw those guys, not us. I assume that they can't say that.
So interesting.
They got to come up with something.
Just announced today, Marvel Heroes 16. I don't even know what platform this is. I don't even know if this is a mobile game. I don't know what the hell this is. Okay. But it's a Marvel game that exists out there.
Okay.
Basically, they just announced that the Fantastic Four characters, including Silver Surfer, will no longer be purchasable in their game, and they cannot maintain them anymore due to licensing reasons.
Oh.
That they're going to maintain, if you already have them, and you have their costumes or whatever, you can keep using them, but you will no longer be able to pick them up ever again. So, just an indication of Marvel at work, pretty much.
Yeah, presumably so.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Combo Fiend, look, one of the things that I will say that Capcom really needs to work on is that they know these questions are going to be asked. They should probably work on some answers beforehand, because I don't think they did. Because look, I know Combo Fiend, and I know that's what a lot of people, it's where a lot of my empathy comes from, is that I know Combo Fiend. Yeah. I know Combo Fiend is like the least BS-y person like on the planet, right? Like he will straight up tell you, but like he's just in a position where he's not allowed to be Peter Rosas, the Peter Rosas that he wants to be.
Nope.
And so, look, I get what he was trying to say. It was stated very poorly, right? Like, honestly, it's like, look, I'm sorry, we can't get Magneto into the game, right? Which he can't say.
But right, I was going to say, I don't think he can say that.
Right, he can say that, but it should have been more like, look, Magneto's not in the game, but we understand that people enjoy using him and like his playstyle. So we have Nova here who can at least replicate some of the fun things that he could do. Like if you stated it that way, and honestly, I don't know where the comment about maybe people don't remember the X-Men unless that was a line fed to them by Marvel, because that sounds like something Marvel would make them say. Someone even pointed out that if you go to, I believe, the Marvel website, and like there's a section where you act like someone sent me a screenshot of this, that they list all the Marvel movies out there. Like they have some old X-Men movies listed there, but like Logan is not listed there. Like X-Men First Class is not listed there, and like there's like Deadpool is not listed there. Like they explicitly left them off of that page. So, I don't know what Marvel is doing.
The IP situation is so weird.
It's just stupid politics with the stupid Fox rights.
Yeah, I mean, it's law and money and all sorts of stuff. I mean, it's not just politics, presumably. I don't think, like, anybody's, like, out to get somebody else. It's, like, more like we need to act in such a way as to maximize our legal rights and financial, whatever. I mean, it sucks in any case. So, abolish copyright. But other than that, what are you going to do?
So it's an unfortunate situation for Combo Fiend, and I think a lot of people are giving...
It's definitely Marvel versus Fox.
Yeah. Yes. A lot of people are definitely giving a lot of flack to Combo Fiend, and again, it's probably because I know him and he's not some nebulous representative member of like non-existence in the world out there that like I see this and I'm like, God, I feel so bad for him because he was kind of probably tongue-tied. Like he was like his hands were tied. He couldn't say what he actually wanted to say. And it definitely came out wrong. And just the extremeness that people have taken those comments, I think, is kind of unfair to Combo Fiend. But I don't know. Like I said, I have a personal bias because I'm friends with Combo Fiend, right?
Yeah. So. If this was Doucheface Jones representing X and Y company in Brazil, like who I had no connection with, then like it's going to be tough to react in the same way as like the dude I used to play video games with in the arcade, right? It's hard for me to be, to like not have a side either. So I definitely get it. He I'm sure would like to be as straight shooting as he can be because that is definitely his personality. Yeah, in Brazil, that's right. Whatever, someplace far away from me. You know what I'm trying to say.
And again, it's like you can't throw Marvel under the bus. And like you look at the way Marvel is these days. I mean, it's not even these days. Like I like to tell the story about the time that I helped Game Fan magazine work on the Marvel superheroes arcade strategy guide.
Okay.
Right? So this was Game Fan. This was with guys like George Ngo and L.A. Akira, who worked at Game Fan magazine, and Anthony Chow, the guy that I worked directly with on the actual thing. So basically, I knew all the combos, so I recorded all the combos, like did them live, and he screen capped them, and they had the technology back there. We made this awesome guide, giant Marvel Superheroes guide. They submitted it to Marvel, and it came back. And I shit you not, the comments on there written were like, why is Hulk kind of brown in this picture? Like, change this phrase from web slinging to like web shooting, or like literally it was as anal retentive as it could possibly be. And even the Hulk picture that they said Hulk looked too brown, they got from an official like Marvel source. Like, they were yelling at their own picture. Like,
I totally believe it.
The magazine never got published.
Oh,
the guide never got published. As a way to thank me, Anthony Chow gave them to me. I actually have the things that went to print. I
never knew this.
All of the documents with all of the markups on there. And you know what, dude? I should just spend a whole stream just going through every
that
one
sounds
of those
awesome.
Markups. I should just go through every markup. Let's not forget about the story about the elementary school that painted a bunch of Marvel characters on one of their walls for their kids, and Marvel told them to take it off, or they would sue the school.
I think that was Disney.
They had one with like Captain America and a bunch of stuff, because
Disney has definitely done that.
After that was announced, DC offered to go and repaint it with nothing but DC characters.
Now, Disney since forever, and Marvel as well, they are litigious companies. They guard their IP rights very jealously. Too much for like the modern world. It's like absurd that are like living in the 60s. It's crazy. But that's what they do. I really wish it was different, but it's not, and you like can't do anything about it as an outsider, unfortunately. Yeah, so now especially that Marvel is within Disney, I can totally see like their two legal departments just getting together and shaking hands. Yeah, all right, nice work on the kids home thing.
Right,
good job. Yeah, you really screwed those kids. Nice work. That makes total sense to me that they would just combine and I'll be fine.
It's so frustrating too, because Disney kind of owns my soul in a lot of ways. I love Disney films. I love Pixar. I love Star Wars. I love the Muppets. I love Marvel.
A lot of great stuff there.
I love Disneyland.
The creative sides of those companies, they have done a lot of good work. The other sides of them are basically a bunch of butts.
It's just like, it's so tough, right? And like, I think DC movies are all trash except for Wonder Woman. But DC, they have their own problems. They definitely have their own problems. Like, you've heard a lot of things that they've done, right? That they basically try to purposely change the designs of their characters so much so that the original creators no longer have any holdings on them, so that they don't have to pay them any royalties for anything.
I have.
Yeah, so they do a lot of things like that. So.
Lawyers, man, I'm telling you. They're too many.
That's the thing is, Disney can't just pay Fox for the X-Men. Fox is like, you can't pay Fox enough money for the amount of money they're making on like these X-Men movies, right?
Yeah, right. Like, you can't just get the rights back so easily.
Because Fox is like, no, we're making a shit. We can keep making a shit ton of money,
right?
As long as we make good movies like Logan, right? And,
right. Even when they weren't making great movies, they were making money.
Yeah, I know. It's not that. And Spider-Man was Sony, but Spider-Man sucked. The Amazing Spider-Man with what's his face, Andrew Garfield. I didn't even see the second one because the first one sucked so bad.
I heard, so I didn't watch.
So, and then I heard the second one was even worse because they tried to make it a Spider-Man multiverse again. They were going to introduce the Sinister Six and do all this stuff, and like you could just tell they were trying to set something up, and it just wasn't going well. So those movies all flopped. That is the only reason why Marvel. That's why Marvel is basically kicking the X-Men to the side. They're trying to make the movies flop, which they can't succeed because the X-Men are too iconic.
Yep.
Right? But Spider-Man flopped, not saying that Spider-Man isn't iconic enough. The movies just sucked enough that they flopped. And they got him back. So Sony was like, all right, you win. Here, we'll make a new movie, but it'll be in the MCU. We'll just distribute it, but you get like a bunch of the money and all this stuff. Let's do it. And that's how he showed up in the Avengers. That's why in a couple of days we're going to have Spider-Man Homecoming. And it's part of the MCU, even though it's distributed by Sony.
Right.
They just haven't been able to do that with Fox because Fox is making too much money off of their movies.
So, anyway, combo fiend's hands are tied. He can only say certain things.
Yeah.
Again, assuming. I haven't talked to him about this directly, but presumably that's how it's working. So, you gotta, like, as combo fiend, you have to defend it in some way. I agree with them, as you know.
Right.
I don't care about characters as characters terribly often. There may be like 2 examples of that in all the fighting games for me. Like in general, it just doesn't matter to me.
Was it Q?
Yeah, Q and Dan probably.
Oh, Dan. Okay.
But that's really it.
Although to be honest with you, you would probably be happy if Dan were actually made good one of these days, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. The other characters I play, I don't care about them as characters. I don't care if Zangief had some different personality. I don't care if Dalsum had some. That doesn't matter to me.
Right.
But I know, and so when it came to like me playing Marvel 3, I never played Marvel 2. Not competitively, anyway. I just picked who, like, look, who's the grappler? Okay, yeah, she lives. All right, She-Hulk. And, okay, the Doom looks like he's got a good assist. And whatever. Yeah. I don't care. But I know that that's not how many people are.
Right.
So, even if Combo Fiend feels that way, even if he just picks characters because they do a certain thing, I think that is kind of how he does it. You gotta know that other people don't feel like that. And furthermore, it's really just the competitive folks, and not even most of the competitive folks who feel that way.
Yeah.
Like, that's minority within the competitive scene. Let alone everybody else who that's completely foreign to.
Yeah. I've had a conversation with one of my best friends a long time, for one of my all-time, like, lifetime best friends. He was always arguing that what they should do for fighting games is remove the personalities and reduce them basically to functions. Like, here's the grappling character, here's this thing, and like you can customize them to how you look, so you have your individual one. So Infiltration will have his version of this, and I was like, that's just not gonna how it works in the fighting game community. And it's interesting because he wasn't sure that he believed me, and this whole conversation now I can just take to him and be like,
that's how,
I just don't this whole entire thing. And
that's how people always are. I mean,
yeah.
But it's in anything, people care about the characters or the sort of personality of things. Whatever you like, you care about that stuff. It's rarer, even among competitive people, it's rare to not care about the character.
And I mean, look, you're talking also to character loyalist of the century, right? Yeah. So like, I'm playing Cammy in Street Fighter V, even though I don't like her functions in Street Fighter V. And I think that they're really terrible, and she makes me mad. And
well, so, good, but boring.
Yeah, right? She's good. Oh, yeah, I'm not...
No, I know.
Okay, no, she's one of the best...
I just wanted to save you from the...
Yeah, for sure. But, look, I don't like the way she plays, and I've been trying to find another character, and I feel like I'm running into the same problem with Catwoman and Injustice right now, which is fine, because I'll try to find another character to play there as well. I'm not married to Catwoman at all. In fact, I have absolutely no attachment to Catwoman whatsoever, which is why I was thinking about Harlequin, because I've always loved the Batman animated series. I've always liked the Flash, right? So that's why I kind of want to use the Flash, but I keep hearing from people that he's not that great, so like I want to use different characters. That goes. But I also want a Sony character to feel something different.
Sure.
So.
Well, we'll talk about that over here.
But
I really like Scarecrow in that game, but I definitely picked him up because he looked like he's a grappler with zony buttons.
Right.
That he also has a sick personality and has a Plague Doctor mask. Like, those are the cherries on top. And if like Firestorm, who I think is terrible and boring, if he had a Plague Doctor mask, I wouldn't be playing him. I don't care about it that much, right? I want to zone and grapple and whatnot.
Dude, so. I was playing against a Scarecrow online. He has like a half-screen overhead.
Oh, tell me about it, man.
Okay, anyways, we'll talk about this when we get over there because, dude, anyways, but yeah, I'm character loyalist to the core. I only pick people because I like the way they look. Although, strangely enough, I think I picked Johnny mostly just because I thought miscanceling was just like the coolest thing ever. Because that was the main reason why I picked him when I first played Guilty Gear X. Yeah. Because it was like, you had to cancel all your normal moves into the stance cancel thing, and I was like, this just sounds fun.
No, I mean, look, it even for people who care about characters as you do, of course it makes sense also that you're going to pick characters you think are fun. Yeah. Like, it's rarely 90% one and 10% the other. It's rarely that. There's usually a mix.
And since then, I mean, even back then when I picked Johnny, he's just a freaking badass, right? Like, Johnny's
there's no doubt, man.
And my character loyalty for that character has now gone to the point now where, I've played him throughout XX where he just got nerfed in every version until finally plus R, which was like 19 years later, right? Now, of course, in Exert, he's godlike, so that's
hey,
great for me.
Investment, right?
Exactly. But, you know,
it's
always been, you know, character loyalty. It's always been aesthetics for me that I go with characters.
Sure.
King, it's always like one or two main things. Like, I played King in Tekken just because I wanted to powerbomb people out of the air. I just thought that was the sickest way to end a juggle combo, was to powerbomb people out of the air, and I like grapplers. Then someone's like, he has a cat head, that's why. And I was like, God damn it. Like, I totally didn't realize, like, if you think about it, I play Cammy. She loves cats.
Your cat's
I play Felicia. She is a cat.
Yes.
I play Catwoman. She dresses like a cat. And now I play King, who has the head of a cat.
That's
like,
pretty weird.
What the hell is going on? This is all before I owned cats.
Didn't you play, there's some other cat character you played.
I played Taukaka for a little bit, too. I played Taukaka. Yeah, you're right. I did. I played another cat character. Jesus.
That's weird, man.
I do not like Lucky Chloe. I will not play Lucky Chloe.
Oh,
so.
okay.
Yeah.
There have been some characters in some games that I don't play because I just couldn't look at the character. Like, that has happened a couple of times.
Okay.
But really just like a handful of examples across all games. So not that big a deal to me, but again, I know it's very important to many people, and you don't want to minimize that sort of much bigger segment of the population than the people who view them as functions. You don't want to minimize them because then you're minimizing the biggest section.
Yeah, so. and it is super important. And again, like, I mean, just going back to the original topic about the functions thing is like, a lot of people started coming out with like, oh, he should have handled it by saying it like this and saying like this. I honestly don't know what he was supposed to do.
Right, it's
such
not
a
good
shitty
situation. Yeah.
It is. It's a really, really crappy situation to be in. And I think about if I were in that situation, like, would it would have been better off probably had they asked the question, they're like, sorry, we can't answer that, don't put that in the interview. Which sucks in its own way, except you just don't know that it sucks because you don't know it happened. But, like, I feel like maybe that should have just been the answer. Like, look, there's just no good answer for this question. I can't answer it. Because, like, no matter what you say, even if you say, like, look, we understand fans love these characters. We can't get them in here right now, but we have these. As soon as you say that, everyone knows exactly what that means. You're still throwing Marvel under the bus, right? Like Marvel, like I've stated this. I was like, what Marvel wants, Marvel gets. That's how they are, and I've even been told before, like they credit themselves with everything, right? So even if you make an awesome Marvel game, like they're gonna want 90% of everything out of that because they're like, the only reason why it's good is because you have our characters. You know what I mean? Like, that's their attitude. That's their attitude with everything these days. And so
always
you can't beat those guys. So, like, I'm surprised that this Marvel Heroes 16 thing stated it like they stated it as a different company's licensing issue. We do not no longer have that we don't actually have. Let me read the exact quote out of here. Let me see if I can find it here. Why do I have to log into this? I've been able to look at this thing without logging in before on the mobile device. It's almost like it's better on the mobile device than it is on the...
That could be.
I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest with you.
Yeah, companies are weird sometimes. But yeah, this is part of why there's so much just bland PR speak. Right? It's not for no reason. It's not because the companies themselves originally thought something like, wow, we better not be direct and honest about things because that would be better for us. Like, nobody starts out like that.
Right.
Instead, you say a thing, there's a big backlash, you think, we should have avoided that backlash. Next time we're going to do so. And, like, you're going to just squeeze yourself into a box a little bit. And each time that happens, there's like some interesting part that you say that's out of the box, and then next time you're like, oh, gotta squeeze that one in the box, and you gotta squeeze it all. Ultimately, you're just caught in a little box, and there's not that much that you can say at that point. That's why it develops, is this exact process.
Yeah, some people are asking,
But, I mean, I sort of get it. Like, I get why people are mad.
Oh, yeah.
I get why companies would not allow this to happen in the first place. Crappy, but understandable.
Someone is asking, like, but X-Men were in the Marvel's mobile game. And it's like one of the same groups that's helping with MVCI. How come? And it was because I had some people mention this on my timeline as well, that some of the mobile games that do have X-Men characters in there were created before the ban.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it might have been something in the contract already that said that they were allowed access to these characters to make. And it might have been too late for Marvel to go against it, because it's the same kind of situation with contracts. That's why they're stuck in this Fox situation, because they basically told Fox, as long as you keep making movies, you get to maintain the license. Like, there was no expiration date. It was literally like, as long as you keep making these movies. And so that's why Fox keeps churning out X-Men movies, because they have a quota to fill to maintain the license.
Yeah, and they make money doing it.
Yeah, so. And they're going to keep doing it. So.
But you know what? It's... from another side, it's not even that accurate. Like, Nova doesn't play like Magneto. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even that accurate, unfortunately. So.
But, yeah, it's an unfortunate situation.
Hopefully those characters come in at some point, but it sounds like don't bet on it.
Right. It's always one of those things where it's like, as soon as you get asked that question, why aren't the X-Men in the game? Like, Capcom reps should just be like, can you just shoot me now?
Nah.
Can you just kill me now, please? I just, like...
But you're right. They've got a game plan about it and figure it out. So
okay.
Crappy, but alrighty. There you go.
Shall we move on to the next topic then?
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about Injustice.
Let's talk about Inge 2.
Okay. What was so? What's the story behind this right now?
A little bit like Hayate right now. So
actually, keep talking. I'm going to do something really quick.
Yeah, sure. I really wanted to talk about this, and James wants to talk about it too because he's been playing. I wanted to talk a little bit about how some of the characters are getting a little bit too much of a rap one way or the other. And this happens in like every game, right? And in every game, there's a set of characters that get too much credit and not enough credit. It always happens. But I feel like it's happening in particular in Injustice. I mean, it happens in Street Fighter V for sure. Balrog gets too much credit. Like, he's clearly a good character, but he's like not absurd. I mean, he's definitely not absurd. Fact.
No, he's not.
He's not.
He's really good.
Of course. But there's nobody who's absurd in that game. There's nobody who's terrible in that game. Like, it's good and bad, but not awful and tremendous. It's the same way in Injustice 2. But in that scene, in the NRS scene, it's been rare that they have had a chance to like really just explore a game for the first year. Ultimately, it ends up, each of the last 3 games has ended up with a final patch that lasts for about a year, and then they get to explore things, and you figure stuff out. But in the initial sort of release, the initial year of a release, there tends to be a ton of patches. And so when people say things like that X or Y character is too good or too bad, what they're hoping for is that there's going to be a patch. And guess what? Sometimes there is.
Right.
Not uncommonly. So it like you don't often go through the sort of this is a good character. What counters that character? Let's play the counter instead. Oh, the counter is actually better than the first character. Like that happens in every game, but has not often happened in NRS games.
Right.
It is happening now, and that's I think part of why we're seeing in the NRS scene a lot of people talking about Black Adam and a lot of people talking about Aquaman. Previously talking about Atrocitus and Deadshot.
Deadshot was the first one.
Deadshot was the first one
of the game. It's like if you have a gun, you're like the first one.
I mean, it was obvious, but a lot of people. So, again, there are talented players in those scenes, and there are people who can sort of lab up and figure stuff out. But they just I haven't had to in that way. So if they see something is really good, they just think, change it.
Yeah,
that's the first reaction. And you get things like what happened in Injustice 1, where whatever Deadshot was called in that game, Deathstroke, where he was nerfed really early.
Yes.
And he ended up being pretty bad until they buffed him again.
Right.
Because people didn't want to take the 2 weeks to figure it out. So in Injustice 2, they're getting that time, and as a result, they are still very concerned about tiers, even though the sort of tournament results haven't backed that up.
And I know that this isn't necessarily real, but did you see the video that Sonic Fox posted up today, where Aquaman did the low into the stabby and he backdashed out of it and punished him while he was stabbing? Yeah, so he was just as soon as he did the low into the the very common string that Aquaman does. Yeah. Well, I mean, he starts with the poke and does that, and as soon as the first stabby spike hit him, he just backdashed out of it, armor back 3, and just blew him up. And he was like, "Well, you're all done, Aquaman players, right?" Stuff like that can change a game drastically.
Of course.
However, someone was saying you just weren't forward dashing fast enough with the Trident Rush. And
right, Trident Rush can move itself.
Yeah, so someone showed a video where they tried it and it caught up with them. But I think some characters with better backdashes might be able to take advantage of it.
There you go.
Right? Like, I think Catwoman's going to be able to do that all day because her backdash is really far, right?
Or if you have, I don't know, maybe you should test Catwoman back 3 because it moves backwards very fast, and if there's enough of a hold that you can backdash, maybe you can get the armor off of back 3. I don't know. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff to be figured out still. But people are still talking a lot about Black Adam. So Deadshot, everybody was concerned about, right?
Right.
Then Toryuken comes, and there's one in top 8, and Combo Breaker comes, and there's one in top 8. Neither one mains those characters.
Right.
They're just countermix. And then everybody's talking about Atrocitus after Combo Breaker, and then CEO comes, and there's one in top 8, and that guy played like Bane and Darkseid and stuff, so didn't even main that character. Now everybody's talking about Black Adam and Aquaman. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I don't think there are going to be Black Adams and Aquamans in top 8 at Evo. I think there probably will be. But what I am super confident in saying is that nobody's going to be there as a main of either of those two characters. Nobody's going to play those characters exclusively and get into the top 8. And furthermore, that there's going to be fewer, this is more likelihood, fewer than you might expect. Like, there have been 3 to 4 in previous tournaments, 2 to 3, something like that. But for a top tier character, to have 2 or 3 reps is fine.
Right. Yeah.
That's not a big deal. And even in this last event at CEO, like, maybe does Joker counter Batman? I don't know. Maybe. Does Green Arrow counter Superman? It kind of seemed like maybe. People think
Scarecrow countered everybody.
Maybe Scarecrow, yeah, he did, in fact. But he might beat Black Adam outright. Like, he might go even with Aquaman. So
how did anybody think Scarecrow wasn't a good character? He has a freaking half screen overhead and a half screen sweep.
I don't know, James. His sweep is +1 on block. It's ridiculous.
I was playing against the Scarecrow online. I was half screen away from him, and he hit me with something, and I died because I didn't block it because I didn't know it was half screen overhead.
From half screen, forward 3, if it hits, you get a dash up into a full combo.
I was just like, what the hell?
I honestly, I don't know. I mean, remember when I first got Injustice 2, and I was trying the characters out, I was like, I think Scarecrow's really good. In like week 1. I wasn't the only person saying that, but very few were. Because everybody is talking about Deadshot, Atrocitus, and yada yada. There's this weird myopia. I don't know, people don't see it.
Scarecrow is the character right now I have consistently lost to the worst.
He's really good.
Like, I can't...
He has great footsies. He has great pressure. He has good safe wake-up.
He has
good mobility.
Yeah, he has this gas wake-up thing, which I don't...
Yeah.
Okay, so here's another question that I just have to ask. How are you supposed to stop a lot of wake-up attacks? Like, Captain Cold has the build-the-wall wake-up attack.
Oh, how are you supposed to get around him, you said?
Yeah, like, so if you know he's going to wake up with that, how... You can't... It's not like an uppercut that you can bait out and punish.
Yeah, I mean, you can. You can just jump over it.
Like, when he gets a jump over the other side, basically.
Are you talking about Captain Cold or Scarecrow?
Captain Cold.
Oh, yeah, Scarecrow. Captain Cold. Yeah, you can get to his behind. And also, when he does the wake up this thing, the wall, when he meter burns it, there's a hole in between.
Oh, okay.
So you can press a button there. Or you can just do meter burn back 3.
Oh, right. Just armor
meter burn 3.
It. Okay.
Bust it.
That's
all.
Meter burn 3 basically is the solution to kill a lot of those things.
Yes,
then, right?
definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, I wasn't the only one who said that Scarecrow was good. Like, talking with White Boy, who won CEO, obviously, he said, yeah, the character is great. Like, why didn't anybody think that? And I was talking with Rico Suave, who said that he thinks Scarecrow is like 6th or 7th best in the game, and Gross was right there, and he was like, yeah, definitely top 10 character. Like, this, it's not like a secret. It's just, he wasn't being talked about in the way that the other characters were being talked about. So I suspect that's the case with at least a few other characters. People were talking about Darkseid a lot earlier. I don't really hear that much now. I don't think he's bad at all, but don't really hear that much now. Is Catwoman great? Probably. Harley seems really good. Lantern seems really good. Ivy seems good. Like, a lot of characters seem like they are good or will be good. And again, Joker 3-0'd Forever King. Maybe he's good. He doesn't seem bad to me, but I don't know.
I mean, a lot of people are saying that Batman, is really strong.
I think Batman's the best myself.
Oh, really? That's who you think is the best character right now?
I do.
Okay.
The problem with Black Adam is that you have to get hit. You have to let yourself get hit.
Okay.
Like, he doesn't have... His overhead low mix-up at game is bad. His lows are 26 frames startup, and he goes like this when it starts. You
so
can see
it's
it
better
for sure.
to block him.
Always block overhead.
Okay. Okay.
His footsies are one string and it's a high. Once he pops straight, if he like pressures you and then he pops it straight, his follow-up hits if he gets a combo are not super damaging.
Okay.
Damaging, but like not like the 600 damage. So he like clearly has problems. His wake-up's terrible.
So I saw a lot of people.
He has
chat
invincibility,
telling me,
but it runs out before the hit comes.
Oh, really?
Right.
So you have a meaty enough of attack, you get to blow him up, basically.
You don't even have to mediate. I mean, because he has so long before the actual hit comes out.
Which one is his wake-up attack?
The lightning cage.
Oh,
the
okay.
explosion.
Gotcha.
So
you can like whiff a button and block in time, basically.
Oh yeah, for sure. In fact, what you can just do is like pressure him with like one, like multiple buttons, and it'll just bust right through. It's really bad.
I see what you're saying. Gotcha. Okay.
So he clearly has problems, but people don't talk about that stuff. Instead, they talk about how he can get over a zoning projectile or whatever it is,
or his damage, or his
damage.
EX dive kick is safe.
It's plus.
Right.
Yeah, it's advantage. I mean, he clearly has strengths, but he also clearly has weaknesses. And I guess that's what I expect to happen in the future, is for characters like him who are clearly good,
right,
but also clearly obvious and clearly have problems, to not end up being this kind of absurd mega character that everybody has to play.
I forgot who it was who tweeted this out. I definitely retweeted it, but it was someone saying, like, if you're serious about fighting games in any capacity and you don't spend an hour on every character, at least a little bit in the game, to find out what they do, then you're not going to get good, right? And so, like, I fight Harley Quinn online, and when I see her tantrum stance, it just feels like this giant, like, wow, she can do this and, like, chain forever. And then I played her, I'm like, this is really limited.
Yeah, it is.
Right? I'm like, you can't do anything off of this at all. And so your perception of what a character can do is oftentimes wrong.
Well, sure.
So if you play against if you just took the time to spend an hour on Black Adam and see what he can do, I'm sure it'll be very, very different than what it actually... And then that will help you fight them. That
Definitely.
will 100% help you fight them.
Definitely.
And, like, I just took Tekken Online for the first time. I played Tekken Online for the first time. I intentionally went in there not knowing anything about any character because I just wanted to show what it's like.
Yeah.
And I just got slaughtered by a bunch of characters. So I just don't know where their strings are. You know?
Yeah.
Now, Tekken's a different case because it's not like you can go to Injustice and learn their 30 moves and be like, okay, this is how they work. Because Tekken, like, King's move list has 200 moves on it. Like,
yeah, okay,
literally. But for games like Injustice, very important. Like, I wanted to use Poison Ivy because I thought she would be kind of interesting, right? And when I played her, I didn't really like her moveset. And I was just like, she really doesn't have that much. Like, it was like
it's like a good mid-range character.
Yeah, compared to what from just watching her, what my brain interpreted as really broken. You know, like, she wasn't nearly as crazy as I thought.
Sure.
And as soon as you take the time to learn why your character isn't as crazy, so if you don't take the time to play Black Adam and not even, like, use him online, but just go in a training mode and be like, why is this move so slow? Or why don't I have any lows?
Right.
Like, that just changes everything, right? And that's one of the keys to learning how to fight. If you're fighting a character that you hate him that much, go use them for an hour and find out. Sometimes you'll find out they are really good.
Oh, yeah.
But sometimes it's not always the case, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Like, even Batman has some issues. His bats... When they come out, they're really plus on hit. If you get hit by his little bat trait, you're there in hit stun for like a long time. But if you block them, there's very, very little block stun. So you can just press a button.
Yeah.
Like, there's counters to everything. Nothing is absurd. Like, nothing in modern fighting games is that absurd. Just as a general rule.
If it is...
Or is counterable.
Okay, so...
Some things are crazy, but counterable.
Here's the thing. If the moves are really as broken as you said they would be, then we would see tournaments where 50% of the people are using just that move.
Yeah.
Like, but the fact that someone is not winning just by spamming one move over... Like, let's go to ST. Let's make Akuma legal in a tournament.
Oh, right.
Okay,
yeah.
We'll see. You'll see what truly busted is, right? So you jump back, fireball, and then someone's going to master the Kara cancel red fireball, and then that's it. You're dead, right?
Yeah.
People don't know if you cancel a light attack Kara cancel into the 3-hit red fireball, which is supposed to have gobs of delay at the end of it, it gives it the jab version delay so that you go whoop, whoop, pop, and then it's done. So literally characters like Fei Long, if you have him in the corner and you do Kara cancel jab, red fireball, heavy red fireball, Kara cancel jab into red fireball, there is zero that he can do. He can't jump out of it. He can't uppercut because you're too far away. You just block, 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 and you're dead.
Yes, it's terrible.
And that is true broken right there.
Correct.
That is
nothing like that exists nowadays.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess my point is just that I wish people would take a little bit more time and experiment a little bit more and not jump to conclusions, because the conclusions are bad for everybody. Like it now, people. You told me that somebody told me that you were sitting next to F Champ during.
Yeah, I was sitting next to him.
Right?
Yeah,
he was like, "Where's Deadshot?"
Yeah,
right, at CEO.
Yeah, he's like, I thought everyone said Deadshot was broken. Where's Deadshot? How come I don't see him in this top 8?
That's a bummer, man. Because like now, as somebody who doesn't really pay attention to the game,
right.
he sort of extra doesn't pay attention to the game because he's just expecting it to be dead shots and whatever. It's not. But like that's the public perception, and that becomes its own reality, and it matters on its own. I really wish that wouldn't happen.
Yeah, like even a move like Balrog stand heavy kick, really good button. Crush counters, goes into big combos and everything like that. Like use Balrog for a little bit and throw that button out, and you'll actually find out that it has really terrible range.
It's not that big. All the numbers on it are good. Plus whatever.
Right? Yeah. Obviously,
but it is out there for a while, and a lot of characters, if they happen to jump a little bit before you press that button, you're gonna get hit.
Yeah, and like I said, it just doesn't have the range that you think it does. Yeah. Like it feels like it because when he hits your limbs, he crush counters you and you die. But it's a pretty laggy move. If he just sits there and hit heavy kick random willy nilly, he's gonna be basically unable to move for a large chunk of time in which you could take advantage of.
There are clear issues with that character. There are clear issues with all the characters that exist nowadays, and I really wish that people would investigate a little bit more first. There's a lot of moaning in Injustice 2. Maybe some of it's legit. I don't know which characters are great or bad necessarily, but people are upset with how Wonder Woman is. They think that she's terrible, or some people think that Firestorm's terrible. That stuff exists, but I don't know if that's accurate. Maybe some Firestorm will come along and be ridiculous with that guy. Maybe there's something about the character that I'm missing. And you have to be open to that. You can't go around saying, sort of with any real proclamation, that those characters are terrible without taking some time. At CEO, somebody, it might have been Katana Prime, picked Wonder Woman as a way to try to counter some other character. And it kind of worked.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Maybe that's the right call. Like you got to see how it ends up.
Right. Yeah. Give it time, and I think it's cool that people are giving it time now.
They should.
I mean, it's like I said, it's too bad that Sonic Fox thing turned out to not actually be real. But were it real, it would have been a great example of how like Aquaman could instantly go from like this guy's broken to like, wait a second,
right?
There's this huge flaw in his game plan that we weren't aware of. You know.
The problem with Firestorm, in my view, is that he doesn't have credible zoning and his pressure is not that excellent. But again, I could be wrong. We'll see. I would not want to make any strong proclamations one way or the other yet, because it's just too early, and I don't know how things are going to end up. I mean, before CEO, I did not have a terribly high opinion of Green Arrow, not for any great reason. Like, I had played against some, and they probably just the player using it was like not great, and I hadn't really seen anybody else play him. And I investigated him for 10 minutes, and I was like, eh. And then I saw Illusions use him at CEO, and hey, there's like real strength there. Yeah, that stuff's gonna keep happening.
I've been having so much trouble with this game though. I played it a bunch online. Can you tell me, is there real matchmaking in that game? Because people were telling me they just matchmake you with whoever. Like, you could be like Scrubbies McScrubberson. They'll pair you up with some guy with like a 73% win rate or something like that. I don't know if that's actually true or not.
I'm not sure either. Okay. I feel like I rarely play against terrible players, but
because my win percentage just never went up, right? But people are like, well, if you're going up against better players, isn't that fine, right? Like, maybe that's good. But I mean, the game is. I'm enjoying it though. Like, I actually really want to go back and play it because like I'm just like mad because I'm like I just want to get better at this, and so I'm enjoying the game enough. But it feels so different than every other fighting game. And I've always made sure during the stream where I play it too to mention that that's not the fault of the game. Like, every game should feel different. They have every right to feel completely different.
It'd be boring.
And it's my fault because I can't get used to a lot of because a lot of other fighting games put you in certain philosophy mindsets, right? So I'm more about like hitting buttons, like the whole predictiveness kind of Injustice, like trying to do the strings early on. And I keep messing up my stance cancel with Catwoman because every time I do towards one, I want to hit the button as soon as the claws hit, because that's just generally how I generally cancel moves. But you got to do it before it hits, and that way it comes out. Offline, you can do it when it hits. But online, but online you have to do it a little. It's just all these things. I'm just trying to fix my mindset. So I really am enjoying the game. I played it for like 4 hours yesterday. Yeah. So I'll probably continue that next week as well. So keep going with that. So
also, I'm no longer on Wi-Fi. Everybody, yay!
Oh, you get that condition fixed?
Yeah,
you got that situation fixed. Nice, good stuff.
I got one of those routers that you plug into the wall. Yeah, the
electric. Yeah, the electric ones. Okay. It works well for you.
Yeah,
then?
It works.
Okay, sweet. Cool. Okay. Do you want to take a break then? And when we come back, we'll talk about FGC news, including a few results that we haven't talked about yet.
Let's do it.
All right, we'll be right back, guys. And again, before we go to break, just want to mention Okamoto Kitchen will be at Anime Expo this weekend. And they're going to be doing a cool collaboration with Atlas, basically doing this Persona 5 themed menu. Mm-hmm. And so they're going to be just go get their food. Like if you're going to Anime Expo, just get in line, go eat their food. I would 100% recommend the katsu curry sandwiches. Those are my favorite. I like the pork one. Don't know if the pork one will be available there. If not, chicken one is fine. Also, their gyudon, if you like beef bowl, like this is like real legitimate like beef bowl. Like this is not Yoshinoya garbage. This is like legit beef bowl. Super good. And don't overlook the tofu on rice cake, because that thing is amazing. I'm a meat eater. I don't like vegetables. True. In fact, I even asked for it with light cucumbers. Okay,
that's right. I've heard you do it.
I have to get light cucumbers, but without the cucumbers, it's not good. You have to have some cucumbers in there. I'm a meat guy. I don't eat vegetables. I pick onions out of my shit. Right? I'm not quite like Flow Level or whatever like that. But but like I don't like vegetables, but I love that thing. That thing is super good.
And I like vegetables, and I like it too.
All right, be right back, guys.
All right. Let's talk about FGC news.
Oh, dang it. You know what? I completely forgot to go through all the FGC news because we were talking so fervently about vegetables.
We may not be able to talk about FGC news.
Oh, we can talk about it, but just talk about Brussels sprouts. Right before on the break, you were saying that Brussels sprouts are amazing, but those were actually engineered to be good, right?
I have read that in the news, that Brussels sprouts have indeed changed. Because I remember as a kid, I liked most vegetables, but I felt that Brussels sprouts were just garbage. Right. And then now in the modern era, I really like them. They're sweet, they're very tasty, and I read that there's actually been genetic changes in them over that period of time to make them more edible, more palatable.
They're good.
I like them.
What was that one dish that we were eating at, like, it was in Texas. It was like right after DreamHack, someone ordered it at that restaurant that we went to. Yeah. And the Brussels sprouts there were super good. They were good. And there was somebody there who was like, oh, I hate Brussels sprouts. And we were like, when was the last time you ate them? He's like, when I was a kid. We're like, try them now.
They're good.
And,
and he liked them.
Yeah, and he liked them. So there you go. But let's talk about the CPT online results here.
Sometimes I buy bags of kale, and I just eat the kale like it's chips. But it's not kale chips.
I had a friend who used to do that.
Kale.
You know that they had the bag of like pre-made salads for you and stuff like that. He would just open them up and eat them as chips. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's talk about the results here from the CPT online.
Let's do it.
So there was an Asia online, and it's interesting here. I don't know, is it just because the online is better than in Japan than it is in the US? But this tournament was freaking stacked.
Yes,
there were so many good, like everybody played in this tournament. Yeah. Meanwhile, like all the US online tournaments, like no one plays in it.
I don't understand why.
Is it just because
it's not nobody? But it's not that list of
it's
players
not like
who are in...
everybody and their mother are playing in this tournament,
right?
But the top 8 that finished in that tournament were Punko in 7th place with Colleen and Tachikawa with Ibuki. 5th place was Inuchiu with M. Bison. That is a player that I hadn't heard of, I don't think. And Bon-chan with Nash. Can I just go off on a little tangent here? Red Bull Kumite, that Red Bull Proving Grounds that we just had, Bison just looks so, like JLMN, LES, and SN Pinoy just dominated with Bison. Bison looked so good in that tournament. So, like, it's interesting. Do you think he is like a top 10 character?
Probably not, but he's. I mean, as you just said earlier, top 10 is probably silly to talk about.
Yeah, I guess it's true.
There are too many good characters.
Yeah. Fourth place was Cyclops Goichi with Ibuki and Chun. Third place, Echo Fox Momochi with Ibuki Ken. Second place, Moke with Rashid, another player that I hadn't heard of. And first player, GGP Kazunoko with Cammy.
All right.
There you go.
Nice work.
And just, going along with an argument that I've been having with people online about whether uppercuts made characters broken in Season 1 or not.
Okay.
Cammy and Nakali obviously are just fine without their uppercuts. Have nothing to do with their uppercuts being good. Of course. So, yeah.
By the way, as people were mentioning it in the chat, the giant combo by Goichi, that's pretty cool, right? No, it's not? Oh, wow. I thought it was cool.
It was neat, but, like, honestly, because it was the custom combo, like, literally, it was, like, 9 moves that gave him 38 hits, right?
Oh, yeah. Right.
I mean, it was a sick combo.
It wasn't 38 individual hits.
But this is, to me, that's just showing how starved people are for awesome combos in fighting games. That is the example of, oh, shit, did you see that cool combo?
It was like 3 roundhouses juggling.
Yeah, it was. And, like... The first one hits 3 times, second one hits once, third one hits like 3 times, and then he knocked him dizzy, and then he did some combo into a super that does like 37 hits, and like he got this big old combo off of it, and like...
I thought it was cool, but okay.
It's a neat combo, but again, it's just like, that just shows you how starved we are for cool combos to happen, and it was a highlight. Everyone's like, check out this got clipped, and it was everywhere, and I'm just telling you, man, this game needs better combos.
Alright.
This game needs better combos. Okay. Also, this weekend was the fight. I don't know if I have the results of that anywhere here. Let me see if I can grab these here. That's what I think I saw. I know GTO Kira mentioned it in the stream. If he has a link for the results there. Sorry, I didn't pull this up ahead of time. So in the meantime, while we wait for that, let's talk about some fighting game news here, shall we? Let's see here. What do we got? This one actually just makes me laugh. So at EVO, Too Old, Too Furious, the group that Saban Arturo helps organize, they are running a... here we go. Fight results. Thank you very much, Tio Kira.
And with the 38-hit combo under it by Yubi Dubi.
Yep. They are running a CVS2 tournament. The Too Old, Too Furious people are running a CVS2 tournament at EVO as a side tournament. Boss, of course, greatest CVS2 player on the planet, is showing up, and he is so tired of winning these things for free that he has offered a $500 bounty on himself.
Yeah, that's genius, because he's definitely going to win the tournament, but that will make it so that more people will enter, which means he's going to make more money because he has promised to pay $500 if he loses. Genius.
Wow, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about it that way, but, damn, okay, that's pretty slick. That is pretty slick. Alright, so the fight happened in Panama. And it looks like top 8 was TSD Loros with Nakali and PXLM3 with Guile and Urian. 5th place was Flash with Urian. Man, he's been going everywhere, and he's just like top 8 in everything, but he can't seem to win. And Umbrella's Dark with Urian and Alex. 4th place was F3 Brolinho. 3rd place was DM Bike. Mm-hmm. I never know how to pronounce that.
I just say big, but I don't know.
B-A-E-K, the Tekken character. 2nd place was Rise Mena RD with Birdie and Laura. And 1st place was Doomsnake with Vega.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to see any of this?
I did not.
Okay.
I have actually occasionally run into Doomsnake on the internet.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
And the connection has not been great, but clearly there was strong play there.
Okay.
Good work to him. Also, Alex made a top 8.
Oh, that's the first time then. So there's only 4 characters now who haven't made a top 8 then.
Who hasn't now? Jury?
So Glenn always has that list out there, and Alex was one of them.
Yeah.
But it was always Ryu, Jury, and I think it might have been like Colleen and Ed just because they're new or something like that, but I can't remember the exact list now. But definitely Ryu and Jury and Alex were in that list, but hey, there you go.
Hey, Alex did it. Alex plus whatever the other character was that you said.
Oh, man. Yeah, Ryu. Poor Ryu. God, that character. The character needs to be stronger because he's the flagship character. He's the character everyone tells everyone to try first.
He definitely should not do that in this game.
Yeah, you should not be using that character at all. So,
Alex plus Urian. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Just wanted to see like where he went in the tiers for the secondary character.
So,
Right at the
GT
top.
saying only Jury has not been used in top 8. I'll have to look at Glenn's stats because I know he's put more than that. All right, let's go here.
Yeah, Jury's a butt.
Oh God, have you seen that new combo video that Desk made? He made an Akuma combo video that goes across Ultra Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5, and Tekken. It is the most genius, brilliant. It's
Okay, I'll watch
patented
it.
deck. It's patented Desk combo video.
Got it.
And it, like combos will he'll show the same combo in all 3 versions and
Okay,
stuff
that's
like
cool.
that. And
Yeah.
it's so sick. You guys really need to watch that. It's so good. It's so good.
Kaba did use Ryu in a top 8. That's true.
Oh, he did.
I think it was like almost all Guile and then Ryu for like 1 or 2 games.
Okay.
But, you know, count it. That's fine.
Okay. Let's see here. So Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite will be playable at EVO.
Yes.
It will be the versus build. So everyone who's played the demo and is mad at the demo can now go to EVO and play it over there. And I really hope Capcom brings like 90 stations.
I was just going to say, they have to have a ton. Because they had either 6 or 8 at CEO.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And the line was mega long anyway.
Yeah, it was gigantic.
Super long line. So, yeah, there's going to have to be a
We
lot.
also forgot to mention the Canada tournament that took place, or the World Gaming tournament that just took place over this weekend.
Indeed, we did.
Let me see if I can get the
Last
results.
year's esports tournament of the year, according to whatever. You remember there was like some BS esports awards ceremony or something? And that tournament got it won for best tournament or something.
Let me see if I can get
I don't know. I didn't pay that much attention. All right.
But I just know that grand finals came down to F Champ and Knuckle Dew. So shout outs to F Champ, of course, always doing work with Dulcim. And he made it that far, and he ended up getting second place to Knuckle Dew.
Did he get dunked in grand finals? I didn't watch.
I didn't get a chance to see it. Unfortunately, I did not get it.
However, I did watch the Mortal Kombat X.
Oh, you watched the Mortal Kombat that was there. Okay.
Again, only top 3 because I just happened to have a little bit of time. But it was a busy weekend for me.
Okay. And who won?
Dragon.
Oh, okay. So
Dragon
he still plays a lot then.
Looking good still. He had Katana looking good still, and he had...
That event
girl?
also had I think Kyle P was there. A few other strong players were there. I heard there was a ton of Lauras in top 8.
Oh yeah.
So the fact that F Champ even made it to second place is like
Yeah, he's a good player.
a miraculous result there.
What? MKX is so cool. I miss it. When I was watching it, I was like, man, this game's so fun.
You're like, I miss this game.
That's what I was thinking, but it's dead.
Is it really? You really feel like it, or do you think they're doing a better job keeping it alive this time?
Maybe better.
Okay,
Maybe better.
okay.
Maybe it's a 2 out of 10 instead of a 0. But yeah.
Okay. Jesus. Registration is now open for Brazil's largest fighting game tournament, the Treta Championships. So the Treta Championships this year are going to be on September 30th, it looks like, to October 1st. So they're going to have Street Fighter 5, Injustice 2, Tekken 7, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2, Smash Bros. Wii U, Mortal Kombat XL. Yay!
Great. That's awesome.
King of Fighters 14 and Killer Instinct. A bunch of side tournaments there as well for example, USF 4, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, KOF 2002, Alpha 2, Third Strike, Skullgirls, Melee, MVC 2, and Super Turbo. So,
Wow.
Again,
What was that again?
This is the Treta Championships. This is the biggest tournament that's in
going all out.
Brazil. Yeah. This one is. I know we always get hit up by a lot of the Brazil guys to help promote this and stuff like that because the Brazil scene is they're like working overtime trying to promote their scene.
Happy to help.
Down in there. So there you go.
I just wanted to mention what I'm sure this is inaccurate, but Jesus Creased said. No, I get the name. It's funny.
Okay.
He said that tournament we were talking about previously, the event was a Canadian-only tournament event last year. Opened it up to the Americans. That only allowed somebody who was already going to EVO to eat the ticket. Right, because it was $10,000 plus EVO ticket.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I guess that's kind of a bummer. But the other people who were in the MKX top 3, at least, were both Canadian.
Okay.
So I don't know how that was for Street Fighter V.
Okay. Also, Brawlhalla, they're having their $10,000 Summer Championship taking place from July 29th to the 30th.
All right.
I'm trying to see if they have a location here. Oh, I see. So there's a Europe time and a North America time. Interesting. But July 29th will be dedicated to singles, and the doubles tournament will happen the next day. So if you're interested in Brawlhalla, that is good. The Summer Championship is going to be going on from July 29th to the 30th.
That's really impressive.
Yeah. Let's see, what is this that I have here? Some people I saw people in the chat mentioning the rumors about the EVO entry numbers and stuff like that. Apparently Street Fighter V still leads EVO in terms of registrations over the Smash games.
Right, yeah, Wizard had a tweet about it, right? Mm-hmm. Is that what this is? Can you scroll down there a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Get the thing there, because he did say it. So,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, this is the one.
So Street Fighter V is number 1 right now, and he says tied were Melee and Smash 4. Then after that, Tekken 7.
Tekken.
Yeah, Tekken 7. Then Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2. Then Injustice 2. Then Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Then BlazBlue, obviously the last 2 are BlazBlue Central Fiction and King of Fighters 15. Just 0 people's surprise.
Yeah. But,
Fun games that should not
if it's
be
the
there.
real numbers, look, nobody was expected a huge drop-off in Street Fighter V, right? There's no way that it was going to get 5,000 again.
Oh,
like
wait,
it did last
did you
year.
say nobody expected it? Or people?
Nobody, they shouldn't expect it to get 5,000 again.
Agreed. No, I agree with that.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a huge drop-off. So if it is over 3,000, I would have actually been surprised.
Oh, I would have been flabbergasted if it had beaten 5,000.
Well, over 3,000.
Oh.
Even over 3,000, I would even be a little surprised.
Well, I don't think that would surprise me, but...
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. Yeah, BlazBlue on Sunday. I've heard from some of the NRS guys that part of the reason why Injustice is at 6th place is that it's not scheduled to be on the Sunday stage.
Really? And
that they just are not going to go.
Some of the Injustice players just won't do it because it won't be on Sunday.
Yeah,
that's it.
I don't mean the guys who are there to win the event because they're going to go for sure. I mean more of like the community guys who would go to support the game and then they wanted to see it in the to watch it.
Yeah,
they don't expect to play. But I've read a little bit of that on Test Your Might. So that I get it, but also because obviously. It should be there. It's absurd that it's not.
Right.
It's absurd that I forget. Is it BlazBlue or KOF that's Sunday?
BlazBlue.
Come on, that's obviously not a good decision. But at the same time, man, please support your game.
Here's a question for you. If they announced that they were going to change it, do you think that would be a terrible idea because then the BlazBlue fans would be mad, or do you think it's just a better idea overall?
It's a clearly better choice, in my opinion. It's got to be either BlazBlue or Guilty Gear.
Right.
Right, because neither of them is on Sunday.
Right. No, BlazBlue is on Sunday.
I'm sorry. Guilty Gear or Injustice.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Right.
Neither of them currently is scheduled for Sunday. It has to be one of those.
Which one let's say Guilty Gear and Injustice were both going to go in. Okay, we get rid of BlazBlue. What's the other game that you would get rid of? Marvel, probably? Mm-hmm. But Marvel was promised that spot. That was
you can't take that out.
Yeah, you promised that donation slot, right?
Yeah,
so you can't get rid of that.
For sure.
So
yeah, if is it Injustice or Guilty Gear, whatever. I'd rather see Injustice, but what are you going to do? I'm sure a lot of people disagree. But it's got to be one of those two. I really...
Someone in the chat is saying that also Injustice players said they had a bad experience at EVO last year. But like every group kind of, I was about to say everyone had that problem, but it was the whole situation again where they thought they were not ready for that many people. That's just what it is, and people have to realize. Look what happened with CEO. Last year, CEO was very crowded, very hot, very sweaty, and very miserable. This year, I thought CEO was fantastic. Mm-hmm. You always have to give everyone that kind of leeway after one bad year.
And for events like those two, you can be pretty sure that if there's one off year, the next one's not going to be. Like, they're going to redouble their efforts.
Mm-hmm. You saw the floor plan, right?
Yeah.
Where they had the picture of the floor plan, they put a minivan in the floor mat plan to show you how big the floor plan was for scale. And, like, if this were like the floor plan, like the minivan was just like a tiny little dot on the page. It was pretty ridiculous how big that thing is. Every game's going to have their own big screen. So, like, there's never going to be a question. Like, your game is going to be on the big screen. So that's pretty crazy. So
for sure. Yeah, 645 says that as a Marvel fan, you'd rather have Marvel on Saturday night than first thing Sunday morning. Yeah, I guess that's a credible answer. I mean, it's just that then you're not in the big stadium, and
that's the thing too. Is like, I wish people would stop trying to treat being on Saturday night as a diss.
Yeah.
Because Saturday night, I think, is still amazing. And it's, in a way, it's almost kind of even better because it's in the room with everything else. So you can kind of watch multiple things at the same time.
I don't know. I don't think that matters, but I do think that not having to wake up early Sunday morning in Vegas
is nice.
Is a plus. Nice. It's just that, I would rather have, if I'm a fan just watching, I would rather have it be in the big old stadium.
Right. Because I know a lot of the Melee fans are mad too. All the Melee people want it on Sunday. And here's the thing that bothers me.
It's just Smash 4 on Sunday, right?
It's just a Smash 4. Yeah. So here's the thing that bothers me though. It's like every year that EVO does this. So let's say they did Injustice and Guilty Gear, and they put Melee up there, right? Let's say that happened, right? And then the other games were Street Fighter and Tekken. So that was the 5-game lineup. It would be the similar situation again where everybody would have been bitching, like, EVO's so big, why don't they give the small games a shot? They never give the small games a shot. Just put one of them on Sunday. Just put, chew it once for EVO doesn't care about the community. They don't care about the people. They're jerks. They only care about numbers. And then this year, they put Blaze Blue in there, and they put Smash 4 in there, because Blaze Blue had a great top 8. Smash 4 always has more entrants than Melee.
Yeah.
Right? So they want to reward them for last year. And then they want to reward Marvel for having a great turnout for that vote. And now everyone's mad. It's like, EVO is stupid. Why would they put these games there? They made such a mistake. Like, it's a lose-lose situation, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you're all right about that. But would you rather lose among the 20 people who will be there for Blaze Blue or the... I like Blaze Blue. I prefer it over Guilty Gear. I recognize that there are not that many people who are maining that game.
Yeah,
that's true. I'm sorry.
It is true.
It's a bummer, but that's definitely accurate. Definitely Gear or Injustice should be there instead. Oh well, that's the organization.
I had suggested maybe dropping things down to top 6s.
It's too established, man.
Yeah,
top 8 is an idea.
That's the problem, right? Yeah. Yeah, it
is a shame that the Blaze Blue community is falling off. It's never been as big as Gear when Gear was still good. Well, big, I should say, before Extra. Then Extra came out and blew up again, obviously.
Right.
Both of those, at the beginning of Blaze Blue and then at the end of Blaze Blue, it's been definitely the smaller one compared to Guilty Gear.
And someone said, just give the trophy to Dogra already. Dogra did not make it out of Blaze Blue pools at CEO.
Dang.
Remember that. He didn't make it out of pools. And if you think he's going to win Guilty Gear, no. It's not going to happen. Dogra is not even the best at Guilty Gear when it comes to players from Japan. And a lot of those guys are coming out for Guilty Gear. So
that'll be a good one to watch.
That is going to be some craziness. So.
Yeah, I think it would have been cool if... It turns out Pokken is still being supported really well by its community.
Yeah,
I think that had probably better rights than KOF or Blaze Blue. And certainly KI did. You can't get them all right. It's just unfortunate.
Yeah, in the end, I just want people to understand... And it's the same reason why I pointed out, remember when MVC3 wasn't announced and no one thought there would be another Marvel game? Everyone was like, I don't care. Just give me a game and make someone play like Magneto. And now, remember, like people used to say that, and now everyone's all mad about Combo Fiend saying that.
Fair enough.
I understand their difference there. I don't agree with what Combo Fiend said because I don't think characters are functions. I only point out these things because I'm just trying to show people that it is a lose-lose situation.
I hear you.
You know what I mean? So the reason why I point out this Evo situation is like they're trying to reward BlazBlue for an awesome top 8. They're trying to reward KOF because it's a new game. They're like, we're putting it in the lineup because we want to see if we can spark interest in the game and spark a revival in the game. We're putting Smash 4 on, and then everyone's like, you guys suck. Like, if they did the exact opposite, then they would have still sucked. I think they're in a lose-lose situation.
They are. It's just, again, 20 people or... when was that top 8 for BlazBlue that you're talking about was fantastic.
Gogura versus
that
Galileo.
Was 2013.
Was it that long ago?
14 at the latest for sure. It was like 12 to 14. It was like definitely one of those.
It couldn't have been 12. 12 was a long time ago. That was still Street Fighter 4 era, right? So
but it was definitely. It was
like that
4.
was like arcade edition era. Oh man,
Was it 13?
I gotta look
14.
this up now.
It was one of those for sure. So it's not like last year BlazBlue had a great top 8.
Right.
It's not like the previous year BlazBlue had a great top 8.
Like literally, I thought it was only like 2 Evos, like 3 Evos ago. It's 24. Yeah, people are saying it was 2014.
Yeah. Okay. So again, it's not like last year or the year before that they had a good top 8. It's 3 years ago.
Right.
And it was great, and I really enjoyed it. So did everybody. Again, it's just a long time ago.
Okay. So I guess under the 3.8 patch for Killer Instinct, that there's actually going to be some character nerfs in there. It looks like the main targets of the nerf are going to be Thunder and Fulgore. And Shadow Jago, and Rash are getting small little frame data changes here.
I guess I didn't watch the stream for this.
Okay.
Oh, there's a patch note. Oh, I didn't even see the patch notes. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I gotta check that out.
So the 3.8 patch notes are out. So
can you? Are those the only characters that mentioned? Or
let's take a look. Let's take a look at this Ultra Combo post here. God, why is this thing scrolling like 10 years after I scroll the wheel? Fulgore is nerfed every patch. He's like that one character that like they keep nerfing, but it's just never enough because it's
really
inherent design. The fact that you can make him so he can fireball into uppercut off of the pip cancel, he'll never not be one of the best characters.
I'm with you, man. He's very good.
That pip cancel thing was just too good of a thing overall.
He's got good everything.
Yeah.
Buttons and pressure and everything.
Okay, so Eagle is going to be added to this patch,
yes.
right? So let's talk about him a little bit. Did you actually get to see the demo for Eagle?
Yeah, I did. I just wanted to see if there's anything else for
so
some
there's some system changes. There's like one tiny system change. Jago got a few changes. Saberwolf got a bug fix. Glacius got a bug fix. Thunder did get tweaked a lot.
Okay, I got to read that later. Oh, yeah, look at that.
Fulgore got changed a lot. TJ Combo got a few bug fixes. Maya, Conra, Aganos, most of them are all like fix a bug.
Okay.
Yeah, most of them are just bugs and stuff like that.
Ooh, Tush. Reduce the height of the Skull Splitter Explosion's hitboxes. Okay.
By 40%. That sounds like a significant amount.
That's pretty big, but reduces damage too. I mean, that move was crazy good. So, alright. What do you know?
Rash was nerfed a little bit. Arbiter actually looked like he got changed a little bit, and a few bug fixes as well. So it looks like it's mostly bug fixes.
Oh, some Gurgles changes.
Gargos got...
Wow, he got gurgled.
Ooh, Gargos got gurgled here. And then Ram, most of the other characters. Shin Hisako, they're all bugs. It's a giant list, but they're all bugs.
Yeah, almost all. Okay, all right.
Okay, there you go.
Anyway, I got to read that later.
Okay.
But and does it say when it's coming out?
They said it was July...
After Evo.
After Evo, yes.
That's all I'm concerned about.
It said... God...
Come on!
I scrolled the wheel. Like, see that? Like, see how long it took for it to come out here?
You gotta get a script killer, man.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think there's just something...
Put on script block.
Someone says the patch is out now.
Whoa!
It's out now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So these are 4 Evo changes.
Okay, so this is...
Wow.
Remember, Evo's not a main game, right?
Oh my god, it's
not a main game at Evo, so...
I just assume it's like so natural to assume.
It came out today, but Killer Instinct is not one of the main games at Evo, so...
That's so weird. I just assumed it was, but no, you're right. Anyway, so yeah, I did watch the Eagle stream.
Yes.
So he is a zoner to some degree. He has a bow. He's built off thunder, you can obviously tell, but he's a very different character. He has a bow where he shoots arrows, and the arrows land, and you have to retrieve them. You only have 12.
Oh, okay.
And you can shoot them a bunch of different angles. Down forward is a low, right? You got the mid. You got to sort of add an angle, and when they come down from the angle, they're overheads, and all these different ones. From the air, you can shoot at different angles, including right below you. And if you do shoot right below you, you just land and pick it up.
Right.
So that's sort of where they started out with, but then it got crazy.
Really? You mean, wait, the KI, they took the basic concept of the character and then they went crazy?
Whoa! So you can charge up any of those, and it becomes unblockable when you do. It gets way crazier than that. And then he has a command jump to like move around better, right? He has a bird. This bird is like Nakaruru bird, except for definitely better.
Is it the disappointed T-Hawk Eagle? It's my favorite thing. In Alpha 3 on the home version, he had a wind post where he'd stand there and the eagle would land on his arm. And I don't know what they were trying to animate with the bird, but the bird just sits there and goes... the whole time. So every time me and my friends would play that game and he would win, we would be like, "Hey, Eagle, how did you like was my performance good?" We'd be like, "No, no, 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 no,
oh, that's
no, no,
hilarious.
no, 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 no." I don't think it's the disappointed eagle.
That's funny,
T-Hawk Eagle.
So anyway, so this bird has a few different things. One is that it like can attack and explode, and that's like his reversal. It's only reversal.
Wait, the bird can explode?
Yeah, the bird like attacks the ground and it causes an explosion.
Okay.
It's probably a better description of it. But there's a giant cooldown from doing that, and then the bird can also make him move around in the air. So if he like jumps forward, he can like move backwards again because of the little bird. But again, all these things have cooldowns. So it's not like you're constantly doing it. And then he also has a scream. The bird yells.
Okay.
And if you shoot an arrow through that, it becomes super fast. And the command for the bird, all the bird commands are with 3 kick. And everything else is like not with 3 kick. So you can do bird commands while doing other things. So like you can be shooting your arrows, right? And call the bird to like help you with zoning if you want to. But you could also have it scream.
He's a puppet character?
Yeah. You can also have it scream while you're charging up the unblockable arrow, and you shoot a super fast unblockable arrow that you can link out of if you're within range. And also if you do the scream and he's like up close, the bird's up close, then it puts the opponent in block stun for a long time. And so during that time, you can do your little overhead low gimmicks with your, you got an overhead arrow coming in, and I'm going to do a little cross up, and I'm crouching like a glide kick. He's very wild.
Dude, it's so funny because the way you were describing at first, I had 12 limited arrows.
Yeah.
I was like, this sounds just like my crazy Guilty Gear character that I wanted to make.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was already crazy enough.
So the bird has a bird magnet, and that retrieves all of the arrows for you.
This sounds really similar to what I wanted to do, actually.
Oh, well, you got preempted by old Keatsy.
Dude, no surprise, dude. This is why, God, like, I feel like if I worked there, I would kind of fit in, except I would try to tone everything down. Look, so here was my Blaze Blue character. I wanted to make an homage to Cham Cham, because a lot of the Samurai Showdown 2 people formed the Guilty Gear team, right? So I just wanted a character with boomerangs. I want a character with boomerangs, but you had a limit of 5 boomerangs. And sure enough, when you throw them, they would throw them at different arcs and everything, and they would always come back to you, and you would pick them up. Unless the opponent blocked them, then they would fall on the ground. And then you'd have to go and collect the boomerang. But if it missed, like, you would throw them up in all these different angles and everything like that. And then I gave her one super that would just suck in all the boomerangs, and then she would throw them all back out. So if the opponent blocked them all, basically you would have no boomerangs and you would be weaker, right? But I would have also given it at the time, false Roman cancelable point, so that you would activate the super, and then for 3/4 of your bar, you'd FRC it, and you would have all the boomerangs and stuff like that.
Well, it only takes half your bar in this game. You get all your little dudes back.
That was my idea for the... I mean, it sounds really similar, and he stole my idea.
He sure did.
Man.
His instinct... When he attacks, the bird also attacks.
Oh, okay.
So it's like
you don't
red
have
armor. Or
yeah.
Right? Like,
the level 3. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. But I mean, his zoning's really good because he was playing against a Jago guy who's using Jago, and he just shot the arrows right through the firewalls. Bam. Boop. Right through.
Did it erase the fireball?
Yeah,
too?
blew it up. But he did say though that if Rash eats an arrow, it's gone.
What?
Isn't that cool?
Wait.
I mean, it's very unlikely to happen.
Right.
You know,
Because Rash can eat projectiles.
He
right?
eats projectiles.
Yeah.
If he eats an arrow, it's gone.
So you could literally eat all.
What
of
a
the
counter! 9-1 matchup. I think that's really hilarious, though. It's like that game is so funky.
So Maximilian
You
is saying,
do all the crazy crap you want.
Maximilian is saying that he has no safe openers, which is what makes him a little bit weaker.
Right. So
Yes, the bird is really important.
the bird and the unblockable arrows seem like they're really important because so his opener, well, I guess what it would be is a little slide. It's kind of like a what's her name?
Nakaruru?
Baton lady.
Lady? Kimuru? No.
The other one.
Shoot.
She had weird cone boobs. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
See, I thought of that before you said cone boobs. Just.
Anyway, so he has a slide, but it's unsafe on block, and yeah, I guess that's a downside. And he doesn't have like a DP or anything like that. Right. He has to have the bird come. Okay. But if the bird comes, then it can't do any actions for like 6 seconds, or it's like quite a long cooldown. They're not even conical. They're more just like flat in the front. Remember? It was like really weird.
Oh no, I remember. They
back
were
in the original
weird.
one.
You know, it was back in the days where it was cool to give her a fatality where she just flashed you and you died.
Whoa, boobies!
Yeah, that was like the height of video game maturity.
Oh. Anyway, so he sounds like a really, really fun and crazy character. He sounds good, but that's how, like, every single time that a KI character is announced.
Dude, they sound amazing.
Like, you did what with what? Yeah. You let what happen? Like, Keats was even showing stuff. Like, he doesn't want to, obviously, give it away. I'm sure he has found a bunch of, because he's the kind of guy who, finds the crazy crap in fighting games. So I'm sure he's found stuff, but he was showing some things as he was playing against this dude. Where he just like had a bunch of really crazy movement options, and he was doing the command jump into his button cancel into command jump into in the air. The bird makes you not cross up after all.
Right.
The command jump has a cross up in it, and it's got the like leg drop that Thunder used to have, and
okay. You know,
very wild
it's really
stuff, but very fun
because like watching Keats play Marvel at CEO kind of explains to me why he makes the games that he does. Because he's one of those people that doesn't need a lot of training mode time to get used to pacing and stuff like that. He just picks up on those things really fast.
Yeah.
So for him, designing these characters, probably like, oh, that's neat, oh, that's neat, oh, that's neat, oh, look what I can do.
I'm sure you're
Whereas
right.
everybody else is like, shit, like, wait, what was I supposed to? I was supposed to jump and then do this, and then this arrow, and then the bird, and then I was supposed to jump, and then do, shoot, what was I? And then he's probably like this. And there it is, right there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sure, you're right. He's definitely fast. He picks things up quickly, and he makes crazy games.
Yes, and with crazy characters, absolutely crazy characters. So
yeah, I think that's really cool. I didn't know that was out now, so I definitely have to go home and download the character because I definitely want to try him out. It looks really interesting.
Yeah. And again, remember this is on PC and it's coming to Steam. It is coming to Steam. So if you guys are wanting to play this, don't have it on PC yet, might as well just wait till it comes out on Steam.
I mean, you can get it for free, but yeah.
That's true. It is free right now, yeah.
It's also, once you buy it, like, you just have it on everything.
Oh, that's right. It's cross-buy.
Cross-buy,
buy it
right?
now. Buy it now, then. Then when it comes out on Steam, you can just download it on Steam. You don't need to worry about it. So there you go. So there it is. Just get it now. Just get it out. So, all right. That's Eagle. Some community stuff that's going on. Red Bull. It's not Red Bull. To Echo Fox. Echo Fox has recently added a new signing to their team, a new Injustice player, and that is Emperor Theo, who showed up at CEO, did really well, and he hadn't been around for a long time, huh?
Basically hadn't played in like 3 years. He didn't play in the last year of Injustice. He didn't play MKX at all. He came back for Injustice 2. But he basically came back and was amazing right away. It's like he never took any time off. But even before CEO, he was winning or getting grand finals in a bunch of online tournaments, including beating Sonic Fox.
So here's my question: Do you think he was
at CEO?
back at CEO because he knew this was going to happen, or do you think this happened because of CEO?
It might have been simultaneous. That's a good question. I don't know. But it's a great pick because he's going to be one of those top guys for sure, and basically everything. So.
And this is not the same as the other Theo, the Jack's playing Theo, right? This is the different. Isn't there another Theo, or am I thinking of somebody else? I might have his name wrong then. Shoot. Who's the other SoCal player who used to use Jax? Tyrant. That's who it is. That is. Okay, yeah. I don't know how I got that confused with Theo.
Yeah, no big deal.
The letter T's.
Yeah. But Theo was the best, or certainly among the very small number of the best players in Injustice 1 until he stopped.
Right.
And then there was, for like the last 3 years, oh man, Theo would have beaten Sonic Fox back in his Injustice heyday if he had kept playing, but he didn't. And then in MKX, oh man, Theo, like, would he be winning everything? Sonic Fox wouldn't win anything.
Right.
Because he's the best. And then sure enough, he comes back to Injustice 2 and he beats Sonic Fox at CEO.
And not only that, but he signed to the same team.
Right, yeah.
As Sonic Fox. So now they're even teammates.
Yeah.
So they're probably actually going to be helping each other
sure.
now.
So that
what a training partner.
Scar.
Yeah.
And Theo and Sonic Fox.
That's pretty ridiculous.
That's a good lineup.
It's a good lineup. Okay, now what I want to say about Red Bull.
Yes.
You probably heard us talk about this if you watched the post show at Red Bull Kumite, which you and I did. But Red Bull did a big documentary over there, talking a lot about like the road to like the Red Bull Kumite and stuff like that. It was going to be called The Art of Street Fighting, which is featuring Daigo, Tokido, Xiaohai, and Luffy. Their logo looks a lot like a Stranger Things thing, but have you seen Stranger Things? You haven't seen Stranger Things. Okay, never mind. But the logo really looks like a Stranger Things, like that weird old school 80s graphics. Just look up Stranger Things logo.
Okay.
But it's basically...
Oh, yeah, it sure does.
But basically it's going to be a documentary that follows them. I believe it's out there already that you can just watch.
Yeah, I think,
yeah. So here's the press release description of it, basically. They are called Daigo, Tokido, Luffy, and Xiaohai, and they are among the best Street Fighter players in the world. Whether they live in Tokyo, Paris, or Guangzhou, these new kinds of sportsmen travel the world every weekend searching for tournaments and high financial rewards. Their daily life is ruled by sacrifices, intensive training, sleepless nights, and endless battles. Their status is fragile, and they are aware of it. During the 6 months between the Capcom Cup 2016 and Red Bull Kumite 2017, cards are reshuffled.
Whoa.
Dun, dun, dun! So it is should be available. You should be able to see this. Oh, it's premiered today on Red Bull TV at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So
it says July 27th.
Today is June, right?
Sure is.
Okay, so it's coming out in July, so it'll be in a month. So you guys definitely want to check that out. It hasn't happened yet. So there you go.
Cool.
Okay, but one game, one champion, an endless fight is their tagline. It's actually a film by Raphael Levy and Axel Cadil. I'll never be able to pronounce French words for my whole
French,
entire
what a
life.
language.
Yeah, I know. It's not like I should care about speaking French.
No, it's not even the lingua franca anymore.
Yeah, it wasn't even the universal language before English. All right, and then do you have anything else? Any other fighting game news that you want to talk about? Only thing I want to mention is the Super Nintendo Classic that is being released. I wasn't too big on the NES Classic, but this thing looks ridiculous. I want this thing so bad. And it even comes with hyper fighting on there. So was it hyper fighting or super?
I'm pretty sure it's hyper fighting.
It was hyper fighting? Because I think the Japanese one had super. Yeah, see this says, oh yeah, this one's hyper fighting. Okay. Which is probably the better Super Nintendo version anyway.
For
because
sure.
hyper fighting was just a more balanced game overall.
It was, yeah, definitely. You know,
it was broken though, because there was a lot of shit that shouldn't have worked. No, that was the original Street Fighter 2. that things didn't work that shouldn't.
Yeah, no, I think the
things
Hyper Fighting port was not good, but like not as bad as the World
because the original one, like Blanca crouch medium kick, was bufferable.
Right.
So broken.
Right.
I think it came out in pre-order today, and it's already sold out. So it's time for me to go and try to talk to some of my Nintendo friends.
Oh man, you're gonna pull the esports card.
I have to pull the esports card, man. I have to.
What do you think about it not having the game everybody's talking about?
Chrono Trigger.
That's what I think.
It's like
bam.
I love Chrono Trigger.
It's a good game.
Chrono Trigger is an amazing game, but
it's a good game.
One, it's like, in a way, if you want to say that Chrono Trigger is one of the greatest video games of all time, then it shouldn't be experienced on this thing, that you should experience it only in its true form.
Isn't this basically its true form?
Quiet. Stop it, lawyer.
Okay.
But, I mean, this thing has Super Mario World. Terrific game.
Absolutely.
Yoshi's Island, which might be one of the, if not the greatest platform game ever. One of the greatest platform games. The fact that you can touch Fuzzy and get dizzy is like the greatest thing ever. And Super Mario Kart, great choice.
Great game.
Super Mario RPG, which I have never played.
Oh, okay.
So that might be cool. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. F-Zero, great game. Super Metroid. Probably the greatest Metroidvania game of all time, tied with Symphonies of the Night. It's really hard to say which of those two is better. Good ones,
yes.
Hyper Fighting, probably the best version of Street Fighter on the Super Nintendo.
Sure.
Super Punch-Out, which I have not played yet, and I had thought about getting a giant GBA, just so I could buy it on Virtual Console, but if I can get this, I don't need to do that anymore. I can actually play this version.
Yeah.
So that would be valuable to me. Super Castlevania 4, which a lot of people like. I didn't like so much.
I don't remember loving it, but I think it was good.
It didn't feel as hardcore as the older Castlevania games. I thought whipping 8 ways was too good.
I guess I just don't really... it doesn't stand out in my mind, really.
Okay.
But definitely Donkey Kong Country did.
You know what? I never played Donkey Kong Country.
Oh, it was a very good one.
Because I didn't like it at first. I was just like, the graphics. I don't like the graphics. And they sent me that VHS tape. And I was
I got it too.
Yeah, I just thought it was like, I don't know. It got overhyped to me. But I've heard so many good things about it.
It's such a good game.
I should probably go back and play it. If I get this thing, I'll stream that for sure. I'll stream that and Super Punch-Out. I'll stream a whole bunch of these games probably.
Mega Man X,
which is
Kirby.
Great.
I've never been a fan of Kirby games. Gotta be honest. They don't do too much for me.
Yeah, I haven't played a lot of Kirby games.
Like, I feel like I don't know, like, they have some gimmicks, but it's, like, not terribly interesting. Anyway, Final Fantasy 3.
Yeah, 6, of
3.
course, which is one of my top 3 video games of all time.
It says 3, though.
Yeah, it's listed as 3. Because it's going to be the U.S.
America.
It's going to be the U.S. port of the
America.
game, right? So it's going to say 3 on the titles and everything like that. So, Star Fox, and then here's the interesting one, Star Fox 2. Which apparently was all translated and made it, and everything was all ready to go, and it was just never released. So this is actually going to be the first time that a lot of people are going to have access to this game. It's just going to be really interesting.
Yes.
Like, it's going to be strange that even happened. So, Contra 3, The Alien Wars. Oof. God. Soundtrack in that game.
Good one.
The boss fights in that game. That game, like... That was one of the games when the Super Nintendo came out, and I played that game, and I was like, "This is what video games were meant to be." Like, I mean, honestly, like me as a kid in high school, like that is what video games are supposed to be.
Yeah.
The first time I played that boss where you're jumping on the missiles was one of the most exhilarating video game experiences I've ever had. I was like, they're shooting missiles, and I'm hopping from missile to missile. This is the craziest thing. Like, it was the most ridiculous thing.
Yeah, man.
God, that game is so good. Secret of Mana.
That might be... Certainly that's in, like, the top 3 or 4 of the games that I played the most on Super
Oh, really?
NES. I love that game so much.
You know, I got all the way to the end, and I never beat it.
Oh, man, it's
because
so good.
I did the stupid thing where I got to the very end. I was like, well, let's level up every character for every weapon. And that just took fucking forever, and I just got sick of it, and I never beat it.
Well, I did do that.
And you beat it. But did you beat it before you did that?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that was why it worked. I should have did it that way.
But that's why I ended up playing so much of it, because
okay.
I actually grinded in that game.
Earthbound, which I also have not played, even though everyone says it's a great
What?
game. Yeah, I never played Earthbound. Can you believe that? I
don't know. I mean, everybody misses a game here and there, but man.
I've never played any of the Mother games, yeah.
Wow, yeah, you definitely got to do that.
And then Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
Yeah, good one.
Which is fantastic, although, oh god, that game basically will kill you.
Very fun game.
Yes, it is great.
Man, yeah, Earthbound is very good. And I don't feel like leaving Chrono Trigger out is that much of a miss.
Yeah, like I said,
it's a good game.
Honestly, like,
is it among those?
Like, I feel like Secret of Mana probably should have been taken out for Chrono Trigger. But
I totally disagree. I think they made exactly the right choice.
Okay.
It's way better. It's not really the same kind of game.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
There are definitely a lot of games on the Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo was just the most freaking fantastic console ever. Like, to this day, it is probably still the most amazing console ever. That was the period of time, because I was in high school when that thing was out, right? And so that, literally, I was at that time where the console could change your life.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So that thing, like, was, oh, man, the games that I played on that thing were revolutionary.
Of course.
And, oh, man, it was so ridiculous.
I'm not being a hipster about it. That's been my thought going back 20 years. 25 years, maybe.
But that is what hipsters are, right?
Like, that I thought that way before anybody else?
Yeah.
I think all of my friends but one thought the same way. There was, like, one guy who was like, nah, Chrono Trigger's the best. And we were like, clearly Final Fantasy is a better game.
Oh, we talking about Final Fantasy and Chrono Trigger now?
Basically anything.
Oh, okay.
Like, it was just, his position was that Chrono Trigger was the best. And we were like, obviously no. Yeah. But, hey... Some people
Chrono Trigger just had
it's a good game.
There was just a lot of really cool story developments in there, and it probably had one of my favorite video game jokes where the bad guy was like, "We're gonna do this," and they play this heroic music. He's like, "This music is too heroic. Stop!" And then they play like a more bad guy music. And he's like, "That's better."
It's definitely good, and it has good music, although definitely not as good as Final Fantasy or Secret of Mana.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 6/3 is. I mean, I already said it's one of my top 3 video games of all time, so that's
good reason.
It's going to be better than pretty much anything else.
Yeah,
so
with good reason.
And dude, my favorite article is Breaking Final Fantasy 3. If you read it and see how that game was coded, like, it is amazing that game worked. It is amazing that game worked, because the jank that they had to put in there, but all they did was just make sure none of the jank could be accessed. Like, the way that the game was designed and put together was so crazy.
Well,
like,
it worked out.
It was unbelievable that the game even was able to be played. So.
I don't know how Secret of Mana felt met. It was like, it had such good everything. The story was good, and the characters were good. And
I remember Chrono Trigger got kind of weird, because at one point in time you were playing like Donkey Kong. You know, and like the secret endings weren't really like secret endings. It was just use that teleport point on the second playthrough at every possible point so that you can get the different endings. Including the super fast ending, which was genius, by the way.
I remember getting all the endings, but I don't remember how I did that.
So there was one where you could just basically go there, because when you play New Game Plus, you had all your stats. And so you could beat the main bad guy with just 2 characters. So the very first possible point, you could just teleport straight to the main bad guy and fight him. And then they were like, wow.
Fancier thinking than I did.
And then you would basically run, the ending was, it would transport you to a place where you could talk to all the developers. There were actually like people walking around, and they had the 3 gods. One of the gods was Nobuo Uematsu that you could talk to.
I probably didn't beat that.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Probably didn't.
And then you talk to that, and after you talk to everyone, we're like, well, as a person who loves beating games super fast, we will give you your reward super fast as well. And then they play the credits at like 10 times speed. It's like,
awesome. That's cool.
And it was pretty amazing.
I don't think I knew that. And now that I know that, I have to reevaluate Chrono Trigger and place it just a little bit outside that list.
Okay. There you go.
Whatever.
Good stuff.
Yeah, man, Super Nintendo, hard to beat among the best consoles ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, best gaming platforms ever. Man, short list, Super Nintendo, and maybe, like, the Windows operating system.
PlayStation 2, probably, right? PlayStation 2 is up there. Because that was where Symphonies of the Night... Symphonies of the Night was PlayStation 1. PlayStation 1, maybe, because that's where Symphonies of the Night and Metal Gear Solid 1 came into play. Those are like two of some of the greatest games, like most genre morphing games.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with Windows operating system.
Windows operating system doesn't count.
Why not?
It's too nebulous.
Well, that's why I picked it, because it encompasses so many things. Obviously, I'm cheating.
Windows operating system. God, you make it sound like PCs are good for gaming or something like that.
PCs also have every game from the Super Nintendo, PlayStation 1, Nintendo, PlayStation 2, the Dreamcast.
Not legally!
Nintendo 64.
I'm not saying that I have all of them, but it's not legal.
I don't have all of them.
I think I actually kind of do. Hang on a second. Let me repeat that again. Any case. Anyways, alright. That's all I had to say.
Okay.
That's all I have to say. If you have anything else, if not, I will remind everybody that this weekend at the Anime Expo, Okamoto Kitchen will be there. And they will also be doing a special event with Atlas. Let me see if they have a date for that here. The Persona 5 themed truck. Oh, I see. So they'll basically have a Persona 5 themed truck and the regular truck, since they have two trucks now, so they'll have both there. So the Persona 5 themed truck will be parked at 601 West Pico Boulevard, with the newer truck parked at 1268 South Figueroa. If you look up Anime News Network and Okamoto Kitchen, you'll find the article. So it's on animenewsnetwork.com, and then just do a search for Okamoto Kitchen, and you'll be able to find that information. Definitely go check it out. Great food. Everything there is fantastic. You will not find a bad dish there to save your life. So amazing stuff.
Yeah, man. Where is Uniracers? Why isn't that on
Uniracers was a fun game.
That's a great point. Who mentioned that in this chat? Katy Perry, FGC. Genius.
Yes, I kind of agree with that.
That game was a blast.
Uniracers was fun. Like, me and my friends made fun of it, and then we saw it. It was one of those things where you make fun of it, and then you see it at like Blockbuster, and you're like, let's just rent it. Yeah. And you rent it, and you're like, this game is really fun.
For sure.
It was really fun. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
It just had really good gameplay. God. And it was very pretty at the time.
Yeah.
Man, we accepted things that... Different era.
I'm just trying to see what else might be missing here. Cause I just
what,
looked
are you
up
looking at the top 25 SNES games of all time?
Yeah, just looking up top game list. I mean, look, the things that popped up here. Super Mario World, Chrono Trigger, of course, right? Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, Super Metroid, Secret of Mana, Donkey Kong Country. They're all on there. Kart, RPG, Yoshi's Island, Console 3, Earthbound. TMNT, Turtles of Time. Okay, that is definitely missing. Turtles in Time is definitely missing.
I wonder if there were... Are they all Nintendo? No, they're not all Nintendo properties.
No, they're not. That is definitely missing there. TMNT Turtles in Time is super good. Super, super good. Okay, so here's a list.
What do you got here?
Here's a list here. Let's scroll here. This is IGN's list. Okay,
all right. So top 100
should games. I even start from... Why is Uniracers at 98?
What are they doing?
This list is already invalid.
All right, hopefully they get one of these right.
Final Fight, Tiny Toons Adventure.
Oh, you can't. This is 100. You can't say 100 of them.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go start at like. Let's go start at 50. How's that?
Well, I just wanted to see if there's anything that jumps out to you as being mention that one.
Gotcha.
Final Fight, no. Good one. Probably wouldn't have it in there.
The Star Wars games. Those were good but bad. The best thing about the Empire Strikes video game is that when you died and the continue options came out, one option was try again, and the other one was quit. And if you picked the first one, it was do or do not. There is no try. And if you picked quit, it would go, that is why you fail.
That's awesome.
That was the best. Stunt Race FX, maybe.
Oh, Maximum Carnage. That was a fun one.
I never played Pilot Wings. It's
also
not
a really good
there.
one. Although Pilot Wings 64, I felt was still.
Yeah, Pilot Wings was still very tech demo-y.
Yeah. Let's see.
Shadowrun was Shadowrun's. Was Shadowrun the one that I'm thinking of?
I couldn't tell you. I'm not in your brain.
Shadowrun's the one that was like one of the first Polygon games, wasn't it? Is that the one I'm thinking of? Obviously, maybe not. No, I'm thinking of a different game.
Okay. All right.
NFL
'94. Madden.
Was it this one? Out of This
World?
World?
Populous.
Out of This World. Was that the one that I'm thinking of? That's the one.
I remember Out of This World.
Out of This World.
Sure.
Yeah. Out of This World is the one that I was thinking
I remember that. That was a fun game. Very interesting.
Yeah. I heard good things about R-Type.
R-Type was good. Yep, for sure. NHL 94. It's a classic.
Yeah, NHL 94 is definitely.
Earthworm Jim.
Axley was a great game. I loved Axley. Zombies Ate My Neighbor. I heard good things.
Super Bomberman.
Gradius 3.
I could do with that one.
Demon's Crest. Some people mentioned that. That was the Red Armor game.
Yeah, Ogre Battle was really good.
NBA Jam was super
NBA
good.
Jam.
SimCity was really good on Super Nintendo.
It was, but come on.
It has one of the best game music ever.
Was it different than on PC?
Yeah, it's different than it was on PC. That one had unique music. The SimCity one that had that really just like crazy song. I love that song. But anyways, Legend of the Mystical Ninja.
The Lost Vikings.
The Lost Vikings. Yo, Blizzard.
Not only is it obviously extremely important because Blizzard, and that's but also it was like really unique gameplay.
It was so good.
Very unique gameplay.
It was so good. Yeah, it was really
great
good.
game. If anybody's never played it, highly recommend. Tetris and Dr. Mario.
But those were originally on the NES, right? So that's okay. MK2.
MK2.
That might have been alright,
Not that
although
great
not
game.
very accurate. Mario Paint.
Yeah, just interesting, but not like a good game.
Actually, they don't have I guess there's no really point in putting it. Populous. I played Populous.
Populous was up there. No, I already mentioned it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I pointed it out. Yeah,
I didn't see that. ActRaiser.
Populous was really interesting.
Super Punch Out. Yeah. Final Fantasy 6, obviously, and 4. Final Fantasy 4.
Sure.
It's amazing.
Good one.
And then these are all the standard
obviously,
ones.
Street Fighter, Zelda's on the top.
Yeah.
This one gets it wrong by saying Chrono Trigger's number 2, but and not everybody can be accurate. Not everybody.
They put Secret Mana at 11.
Wow! Oh my god.
Tournament Fighters actually would have been a good one.
Yeah, it's a little bit niche, but yeah.
Yeah, but
it's a great game.
It was a fun fighting game.
Absolutely.
Because the thing about it is the Super Nintendo was the era where there was like 7,000 fighting game ripoffs and they were all terrible. Then you play Tournament Fighters, you're like, why is this actually good?
It actually was good.
Like me and my brother were playing it and we were like, why is this fun? Like, why does this actually feel like they knew what they were doing?
Yep, I'm with you, man.
So that game was a lot of fun.
So, yeah, there were definitely some other ones on there. Super Battletoads? Or was that Battletoads?
Are you thinking of Battletoads versus Double Dragon?
Oh, man. I played that. Was that the fighting game?
No, that wasn't. No. That was just the one where it was a crossover game.
Yeah. No, but did you ever play the Double Dragon fighting game?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it was alright. Actually, not that bad.
Oh, dude, WWF Royal Rumble. Let me tell you how entertaining that game was. There was the Royal Rumble mode, and like the things that you could do in that game were so fun. My parents used to own a video store. And me and my brother would have to open on some of the weekends, free child labor, basically, right?
Yeah, that's legal.
And so what we would do is we would bring our Super Nintendo there, hook it up to the CRT that they used to play movies sometime. And sometimes we would play games, but you didn't want to be playing games when customers came in because it just looked rude, right?
Okay.
So one of the things that we did is we took WWF Royal Rumble, we put it on there, and pretty much if you ever climbed the turnbuckle in the Royal Rumble mode, the computer would run at the turnbuckle and hit it, and you would fall out, and you would lose right away. So we would always just pick whoever we didn't want to be in the Royal Rumble, and we would climb up to the turnbuckle, let the computer knock us out, and then we would just leave the rest of it running.
Wow.
And the computer would just fight itself in this giant Royal Rumble, and it was the most entertaining
That's actually really fun.
So we just had that on in the background while we were just in it, and some people would come in and like from far away not be paying attention, and then when they came up, they're like, oh wait, this is a video game? Like, they weren't paying attention heavily enough, and it was really funny. Oh, that game was the best, dude. I love that. Oh, man. All right.
What's that Double Dragon fighting game called?
There was a Double Dragon fighting game, huh? Are you sure it's not like the versus mode in the original Double Dragon, which just used the two giant versions of each other and like you could barely fight each other? Me and my brother used to play that. We even bought the video game Trojan because there was a versus mode. We were ahead of Street Fighter 2 even before Street Fighter 2 came out because we kept trying to find good versus mode to play against each other.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It was on Neo Geo? When did I even play it then?
Yeah, there was an arcade Double Dragon fighting game. Yeah, for sure. That was in the arcade on Neo Geo.
Maybe
is that the one that you're thinking of?
Maybe. My neighbor had a Neo Geo, but I don't know.
Okay.
It's like 25 years ago. So.
Okay.
And I was but a wee child at the time, 25 years ago.
You were what?
Not that
7
wee.
or 8?
7.
That's pretty wee. All right. Someone said it was on Genesis. No, now people are saying that there was on SNES. Also, were you a person who called it SNES or SNES?
Ha, I never even heard of SNES. That's absurd.
Really? Okay.
What an absurd conversation.
Okay, because I've definitely heard some people tell me that I'm weird for calling it SNES as opposed to SNES.
Who would call it SNES?
Dude, SNES is a terrible name. It
Come
takes way
on.
too long to say.
It's
crazy. It's like saying jchensor instead of James Chen. It's just way too many syllables.
I haven't done it in forever.
SNES. Yeah, some people did say SNES as well.
Oh yeah, I heard that occasionally.
Yeah.
Double Dragon 5: The Shadow Falls. Yeah, this is definitely the game that I'm thinking of.
What system was that on?
SNES.
It is. That's not a system.
But yeah, Super NES. I called it Super NES usually.
Oh, Super NES. Yeah, I just called it SNES.
Yeah, I said SNES too, but
SNES,
Super NES and SNES.
SNES. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Shadow Falls. Bam! I did. That's the game I was thinking of.
And that was a terrible game.
I wouldn't say it was terrible. It was like much better than many of the crap fighting games. Remember, there was like just a ton of total crap. It wasn't total crap, but it wasn't great either.
Yeah, Street Combat is always the pinnacle
Street
of
Combat.
terrible fighting games on the Super Nintendo. Just look it up one day. Look it up and read the history on it, because it's actually Rama 1/2 that they repainted
I remember
to
this.
be the most terrible game on the entire planet.
Right.
They replaced all the characters like the panda and Ranma in boy and girl form with like crazy evil juggalo clown and like weird robot cyborg and like cyberpunk dude. Like, it was pretty much the worst thing, because I played that Street Combat game with no idea of what the history was, and I was like, this is the worst game I've ever played. So
That's funny. Yeah, it was not a pretty game, the Dragon Ball fighting
Okay.
game. Like, look at these screenshots.
I think I remember seeing these.
Well, at the
now.
time, it seemed pretty, I guess. But
Yeah, I definitely remember seeing screenshots of this. Yeah, I remember seeing that. I never actually played it, so.
Yeah. Video games. Anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to having a much less functional Windows version, Super NES version of my Windows games that I can play on a little hardware for no reason. I don't know why you would buy it. It looks cool, I guess.
I'm a collector.
It looks cool.
I understand that those things to you are just game playing functions.
They certainly are.
I understand they're just functions.
Correct.
But for me, it's the fact that it's the actual little unit and I can plug it into a TV.
It's
and have
not the same as the
Super
old
Nintendo.
unit.
Yeah.
It's not. It's a new old unit.
Did you see the meme of like the alternate colors of it, where they took the top half and they made it all yellow?
Yeah.
That's genius.
Nice work on the functions. Yes, indeed. I'll play Super Nintendo on my Wine on my Linux. That's right. I'm going to get way deep.
Jesus. Oh man.
All right, well, that's probably about it, huh?
Okay.
Next week, I'm not going to be here because it's July 4th.
Oh, okay.
I will be, I don't know, doing something, I guess.
Okay.
But the one after that will be the week of EVO.
Oh.
Which we definitely need to do a proper show for.
Yeah, okay.
Like an introductory, pay attention to, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, we'll definitely do that. And then maybe then next week, if you're not around, then maybe I'll do like a special stream or something. Because I still want to stream Tekken and Injustice story mode, which I haven't done yet. So I think that would be
I
fun.
haven't played the Tekken one, but yeah, Injustice was very good.
So maybe I'll do that for 4th of July or something like that. So.
Yeah, somebody said that. I just wanted to... Yeah, that's right. You can play those games on your phone. Anyway, and have been able to for like a long time. It's not like last year they came out with like a phone emulator.
Right.
It's like when phones became
I have
smartphones, they were immediately like, here you go.
I have one that was an emulator that was released because it's iPhone, so it's harder to get games out onto it, right? It's harder to get emulators out on iPhone.
Oh, the Walled Garden.
Yes. But there was actually a game, which is not available anymore, that was like a weird, and it was just supposed to be an emulated version of an old arcade game, but actually it like can link to your Dropbox account, and like if you can point it to like ROMs, it would play a bunch of the ROMs on there. Like there was a Super Nintendo one, and there was a So they like snuck them on there
Genius.
that way, and I still have them, so I can still play those games. Like I was playing Axelay on my phone at one point in time.
Oh, that's very cool.
Not that I would ever. No, actually, I heard my
Never.
friend. My friend said that he was doing that. I would never do such things.
I did play Chrono Trigger on my phone at one point because it's like not a game where you need to have fast action and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I tried, I don't know, Metroid or something, and it just like doesn't work on a phone, at least at the time, because you couldn't move around fast enough.
You know, I have never played Final Fantasy Tactics. That's a game that I thought about getting on my phone and playing, because I know the unofficial version is available out there. And Dasabro has always told me that, because he asked, like, what game is more meaningful to you, Final Fantasy Tactics or Final Fantasy 6? And I said 6, free. But I was like, but I never played Tactics, right?
Yeah.
I've never played Tactics. And I was like, it wouldn't matter if I did, because it would never mean anything as much to me because of the time that I played.
Sure.
And he's like, what if it did? And I was like, it won't happen, but I would love to play it and see.
What a thing to say.
Yeah.
What if it did?
Yeah, I know.
What if it will affect you as much as the first time you saw a real good story in a video game?
Yeah.
Because that's how it was for me. For Final Fantasy 3, it was 3, where I come from. It was 3, all right? That was the first time that I played a game that had such a good story that I was like, wow, video games can really be something else. How about that?
Yeah. Like I always say this, Final Fantasy 6, as soon as I hear the ending music, I start tearing up, dude.
First game that I teared up at. I was probably 7 years old.
Oh, man, the game was so great, dude.
Anyway, let's
See,
get
I'm just
out of
thinking
here.
about that theme song right now, and I'm like...
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any case, thanks, guys, for tuning in. Again, we'll be on break next week because it is July 4th, and he will be doing stuff.
I will be.
I might stream for your entertainment. I will dance for you as a monkey, and the week after that will be right before EVO already.
Yeah, so we'll definitely have an EVO show.
Yeah, but also don't forget, though, starting this weekend all the way through next weekend is Summer Games Done Quick.
Ah, that's this weekend starting?
Not this weekend. Is it this weekend starting? It might be.
Ooh.
I'm going to try to go.
Oh, yeah, okay. You should probably know when it is then.
Because on Thursday they're doing another Tetris block, and like Kevin DDR and all those guys there.
Cool,
so I want to go there and hang out with them and say hi and everything.
It says
like that.
July 9th.
July 9th. So not this weekend. The weekend after that. Yes.
Oh, July 2nd to 9th, excuse me.
Oh, 2nd to... Yeah, so it is this weekend to next weekend, yeah. So I haven't got my plane ticket yet, which is probably terrible, but I've just been super busy.
July 1st is my birthday.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Ta-da.
Yay, happy birthday, David.
My Google Calendar reminded me today.
You forgot?
Mm-hmm. I have it in my Google Calendar. I have to every year.
Fair enough.
But here's the thing that I'm getting. Here's what I'm getting for my birthday. So, a certain good friend of mine is a professional pastry chef. No, not you. No, not who I'm talking about.
No.
Anyway, so my girlfriend's a pastry chef, and every year she makes me a cake that I always ask to be something new. Just make some wild stuff for me.
Okay.
Just whatever the craziest crap you can think of. And my favorite so far is rosewater, pistachio, cardamom, something. Super good.
Okay.
So anyway, I'll find out on my birthday what my cake is.
Well,
it's gonna be something weird, man. I'll tell you that.
I'm gonna text her. I'm gonna tell her to make you some fart milk.
Oh, that's right. I got a girlfriend. Oh no, you found out.
Oh no.
5 years later.
I thought everybody knew already.
I don't know. Anyway.
Okay.
See ya. I'll let you know how the cake goes in 2 weeks.
All right. Peace out, everybody. We almost forgot. But the chat reminded me.
Rose water, not road water.
Rose water.
Don't be a weirdo.
I almost forgot. All right, here we go. We cannot forget this.
Yeah. Did you know that the Egyptian word for cat is Mao?
Is it?
Yes. Mao.
It's a good name.